That man, what you got, Al?
I got a busted earpiece. That's what I got. But outside of that, I'm gonna say, for me, one of my favorite memories of Toys R Us was back in the day.
Back for the first time, geek enthusiasts and lovers of the plastic crap. This is your safe space, free from safe. So put your hands on some plastic. It's time for tea time.
Just like you, Mickey, except anything, which is free. I'd be buying I used to go to the post exchange and just get like a shit ton of
and just buy a whole bunch, yeah.
So I must have a bunch of, like, you know how people find loose change and shit? Well, I got like a bunch of loose earbuds.
I keep a lot of electronics and just cables and wires and all kinds of crap, but kids is always coming in here snatching shit. Then they pretend like it wasn't them that came and got it. So then they come back to borrow some more shit. And I'd be like, yeah, I would have had it if your ass ain't came in here and damn snatched it when I wasn't looking. Alright. Get right there. Cool. Ah, shit. Man, god damn it. That motherfucking shit came up.
What happened?
Stop at a little gummy part that helps it like stay in place. Popped out and wore the fuck out. It's all bent the screw. So in there to kind of hold it in place, or, you know what I'm saying, to create the friction or whatever. Damn shit. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Tape it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this way. I'm
MacGyver.
I'm a MacGyver that.
RDA.
You know, we're old enough that some of these kids don't know what MacGyver is.
Well, true, but at the same time, they do have a current series of MacGyver out there. But they don't know that we're talking about Richard Dean Anderson and not this new cat with long hair and shit.
Apparently we old if they don't know who Pac is neither, goddammit. I'm still hot about that shit.
Yeah.
That shit, boy.
I've never even heard of that dude. I've never heard of that dude.
He's a fucking nobody, new kid. Now kids know who he is, but no, you know, ask my son, and even he was like, I don't know him. He's new. He's like, but I guess he's gaining popularity or whatever. But he did some Pac to try and I'm sorry, we talking about this little young rapper cat, little millennial rapper named was 03 Geeko Week. I call him 03 Weeko. Little fucker.
As long as it ain't that Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I think that's what they call him. He's this one rapper right now who wears rainbow-like hair, got tattoos all over his face, and for doing pedo shit.
For doing what?
Oh, that's the one. He was dating. What's his name? Kevin, not Kevin Lyles. What the fuck is his name? He dating Raven Simone for a little bit.
What? What the fuck Raven Simone doing this with that nigga?
Yeah, I forget his name.
I don't know.
You're talking.
Yeah, he's like, everywhere he goes, gangsters are trying to kill his ass, and he's trying to.
Kevin Gates.
Hey, bro.
Yeah,
and he ain't got no long hair to wear no rainbow hair. Kevin, he ain't about that kind of. I mean, he got his ignorance. He got his ignorance too. Kind of shit. Unless he didn't change something since he got arrested, since he got out of jail. The fuck, he's still locked up. I don't know if he out. And I know Dream and that shit. I mean, she down for the 3-way shit. You know, him, her, another chick. She. I mean, that's blatantly. They be like double teaming chicks, but as far as I know, she gotta approve of it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't know them. I mean, I don't live in a closet or nothing. But.
With age in 2 years of my life, in 2010, I'll never forget it. Clearly, when Poison came, the song "Poison" by BBD was playing, and nobody in college knew what that was.
Oh, bro, I do you one better. A couple of months ago, no, last quarter, I was at the equipment cage at school getting some shit for class, a Cintiq pen, and this old school chick, she was up in there, and the young little producer, he like, you know, they got audio engineering school classes, program too, so a lot of producers there. But he was playing some Brown, and this little chick was in there, and she was like, "Who is this?" And motherfucker. And it was like, it's Bobby Brown. She was like, "Who is Bobby Brown?" And at that point, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm that old, dog." And then we started talking, and she just turned 21 years old. So I was like, "Nah, you know what? Yeah, like for half of your my life, you ain't been on this earth." You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow.
Exactly.
Oh my
Wasn't
God.
even born.
Don't even feel good to be that old, bro.
That same exact thing too. In 2014, the very last instance when I knew I was in trouble, I went to my fraternity house from after however many years of and I asked we're talking about R. Kelly, and they didn't know who R. Kelly was either. And
I'm okay with that one. I'm okay with that.
I was like, what are you all having sex to?
I have never been an R. Kelly fan. I mean, yeah, he put his little joints that everybody like, but I ain't never been an R. Kelly fan, bro. What's my man's name? Aaron. What's my man's name?
Aaron Hall.
Yeah, I ain't like how he did Aaron Hall, bro. I ain't like his whole style, bro.
He did. He
his whole style and kept it moving with it, bro.
Use his music.
Yeah, I think we all have. I think we all have. Can't front on that.
His nursery rhymes. Now that I'm looking back, I was smashing a nursery rhyme.
Won't you come on and braid my hair, braid my hair? He's the only motherfucker that can get away with saying some dumbass shit like that.
Things are gonna get a little prettier. I'ma have you singing like a mockingbird. Word. When I heard that shit.
That dude went from there to having his own damn cult, boy. Check him out.
Ain't that, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous that somebody that whole can have a cult. With
that though, they or at least I don't know. That's a complicated conversation right there, boy.
One that we could have.
The other head, that's all.
Probably could have had it on 8 weeks if we could get a goddamn 8 weeks episode going. And no, motherfucker Dust said I'm out. I'm tapping.
He said I'm out. He's done.
Oh shit.
Why? There was that one that I did.
When I listened to that sequence of 8 weeks, I went back through my entire CD repertoire to see just how much I knew about anything. Man, I tell you, listening to some of the conversations y'all had, I definitely was lacking in the Dipset department. I only have 1 or 2 Cameron albums.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. There's only one you really need. It's only one. There's only one you really need.
Because I was in Iraq about that time when Dipset started to really.
Okay.
At that point.
I'm trying to check my grade right quick in this class. I know I done failed. God damn it! Can't registration degree.
Y'all still get hard copies of movies, or do you guys do the digital thing?
Man, some movies I'll go and buy, but for the most part, it's digital now.
Yeah. Same here.
Like
I haven't bought a physical video game or an actual disc in a long time.
I bought not the Rogue One. I bought because Rogue One stayed on fucking. What was the other one? The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
And bought Force Awakens, and my wife wanted the
Last Jedi.
Nah, what's the fucking shit? I have not went in to purchase the Last Jedi. I haven't purchased any movie since. Well, it's a little bit different. Fuck, you know what I'm saying? So that's a little bit different. But when I was not broke, I purchased the the Force Awakens, and then the Dinosaurs World, the Lost Dino World, whatever the fuck that shit is. You know what I'm talking about? Dinosaurs.
The Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that last one that came out. My wife wanted that one, so because she liked it in the theater. I haven't bought a hard copy or anything since then. Cause I mean, realistically, you know, it's certain things I could see a point of buying. Like now, if I could, I said I was going to buy Justice League if they would have put out an Ultimate Edition, which I understand out.
Yeah, that was the only reason why I was going to get it too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But I was just going to say I like the movie, but not enough to buy a disc.
Yeah. And I was going to buy Spider-Man, but I ended up getting Spider-Man on digital. I will buy the Black Panther, obviously. Wakanda forever.
I'm happy that it was able to do the 5 weeks.
Let's go ahead and get the show started. Let's go ahead and get officially popping off. We'll figure out what we're talking about as we go, bro. But I'm not even gonna ask y'all if y'all ready. Hey, what's popular, everybody? You are rocking with Toy Detox. We are back. We have returned from our 2-week hiatus. On this side of the mic, you have the well-dressed nerd. Of course, on the other side of the mic, we have Yule and we have Afate. What's up, fellas?
What's up, young Mickey?
Yo.
He just stole Dust shit. He stole Dust shit. But we got a couple of members who are out of rotation. It's okay. Obviously, you know how we do it. We get them out. Everybody's still here. Everybody's still represented. So it's all good. Hey, what y'all been up to for this week, man? How's everything been?
Let me get started on this one. Not gonna front. I've been so addicted to Audible and some of the books that I had to put a couple of pods on the back burner for the week to get the reading through Audible. I went through like 3 different trilogies in a span of 2 weeks, and I couldn't be happier.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yo, can I just butt in for a second? So I got CNN on the playing in the background, but it's on mute, right? And I just look over and they got a picture on a lie detector test, but they got the straps across. They got the straps on the right. They got the straps like on her chest and the straps on her. Them joints is like busting out, yo. I'll never be able to run for politics, bro. I'll never be able to run for politics.
Oh, yeah.
All I gotta do is check my audio collection out, and they'll be like, "Nah, bro, we cannot vet you for nothing. There's no way we can vet you." But yeah, you guys had a pretty good week, though, man.
Absolutely.
You guys been doing
okay? Yeah. Stormy Daniels. I finally decided to actually watch a Stormy Daniels porn, so I watched her in action.
Hold on, did you get one in too? Did you get one in? Did you?
You know what? It never even occurred to me. Shit. I think I should.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Afate. Go ahead.
Nah, I watched. I must say, she is very well built. Let's put it that way. She's not your typical like skinny, wafy, like cocaine sheet. I'm actually fairly impressed with her shape.
Is making accusations. Karen McDougal, ex-playmate.
heard that she was a actual just a play.
Yeah, some flicker flicks.
I haven't looked. Yeah,
She
I
need to
haven't
be in
looked
some
at her,
flicky
but
flicks, man.
I'm gonna check her out though, and just to be sure. I think she's just a model. She hasn't done like any actual porn or anything like
She
that.
missing
But
out on the paper. She could be you, bro. I too Stormy Daniels and saw what she had to offer to the porn industry.
where her little what could be a C-section scar tattoo.
I have to say it's a little too classy for me, bro. It's a little too classy for me. Like,
yeah, she is. She's not. Yeah, she's definitely like a very how should I say?
The high end porn, like the
Yeah, like clean, like no. I mean, but it's impressive though. Like her, I like women that are built like she is.
Oh, I'm good with that.
Yeah, she's not skinny at all. Like she's not like skinny, wafy, stick thin chick. Like nah, not at all. She almost built like a sister.
Chick named Honey something. What's her name? Honey.
Oh gosh, it's like 18 million.
Yeah, but she's fine. Continue, sir. I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, Stormy Daniels. Shout out to her. She's a good-looking chick who does some nice, wholesome films that got caught up with a bad man. Yeah. So what else did I do for my adventures in the ring? Oh, Spiros is shout out to Spiros for sending that G Creations Rebel that finally arrived.
Oh, nice.
So I've been rocking with that. My daughter Zoe, she's been playing with it a lot too, actually, which is kind of funny. But so that's cool. I got a KO sound blaster. So THF, I think. Yeah, THF-01 B, I think it is, or whatever. Anyway, it's a KO MP13. It's the black sound wave, basically. But I got the KO version for $39.
Damn, nice. That's a good ass deal.
Yup, and the box he came in was just. I'll drop it in the chat. I'll drop the pictures in the chat. The box was just destroyed. Like it looked like six football teams stepped all over it. Like it looked crazy. So I knew when I opened it up, it was just gonna be all kinds of messed up. Figure itself, no problems. It did. However they packed it back. Being as warped and messed up as it was, the figure itself, no problems whatsoever. I done transformed them back and forth like 8 times. And ratchet's still good. Everything's holding up. Friction joints looking good. And it was only $39 shipped. So
Honey Gold.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Did you get that from the
Her name is Honey Gold. You boy, when you get a chance. Boy, when you get a chance. That damn Honey Gold, boy. Oh my God.
Did you buy it from the community app, or did you buy it from a store?
Nah, I got it. Gold. Wow. Oh, yeah. She looks like reminds me of my wife.
Honey Gold, boy.
Like
that motherfucker right there, boy.
Yup.
Oh my God.
This is what my wife was looking like. First met her, short hair.
Oh my God, that damn
short curly hair. Oh Lord,
her lesbian joints are the best, yo. That like her joints is straight too. Her straight joints straight, but her lesbian joints, oh my God, dog. Fine.
Never heard of this chick before. She legit reminds me of my wife.
You get you some of that, bro. Get you some of that.
They don't call me Coco Smooth for nothing, man.
Get some, bro. Get some.
Just
Coco Smooth in the building.
Get some,
right. But yeah,
go ahead, bro.
So I got him, and I know some of our listeners probably appreciate KOs, but
I do. I got the Soundwave one.
We got enough. I think we got a pretty good mixture. We got some lovers and some haters. It's all good.
Yeah, I got that bad boy, and I couldn't be happier with him because again, he's $39 shipped. So Yeah, it's a good purchase.
I imagine that the quality, if it's anything like Soundwave that I got too, that you'd be real satisfied because the plastic is actually legit.
Yeah, it's good. The plastic quality is great. No blemishes, no streaking, no, messed up plastic. Like everything is good damn money on this thing. I have no complaints whatsoever with this figure. So yeah, take that, KO haters. So I did that, and then I ordered from for shot in the groups. I ordered the Toy World Constructor, the clear version.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he had that bad boy on sale for $3. You know what?
Crazy. That's crazy.
That's a nuts price. Hell yeah. So I was like, he's twice that everywhere else. Like literally everywhere else, he's twice that. More than twice that. So I had to jump on that. So that bad boy is on his way soon. I'll be cool like everybody else and have a constructor. So
I've yet to join that game.
Yeah. It's really a piece of engineering that Gestalt, like he's very well engineered. Like the posability on him is probably, in my opinion, as far as I can tell anyway, because again, I haven't owned the figure. I've only like hand versions and seen reviews and stuff like that. But as far as I can tell, this figure, there's no other Gestalt that is as posable as that dude is. You know what I mean? Because he's parts forming, which, coming from Gunpla land like I do, I don't care. I don't mind parts forming at all. So don't bother me none. But yeah, I'm real excited to get that dude. And I had the KO Toy World, not Toy World, the KO.
Yeah,
I had that guest.
The oversized ones?
Yeah, the oversized ones.
Yeah.
And when you put him together, he is huge. And I think World's constructor is about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger than that thing. So that's going to be very nice to, put them two together and, watch my kids play around with that. My daughter, because the Toy World version doesn't have, the KO or the regular one, I don't think he has like an actual official name, right? My daughter named him John Go Big Guy. So that's John Go Big Guy. And she says it just like that too. She says, "Hey Daddy, go get John Go Big Guy. I want to play with John Go Big Guy." So yeah, so it'll be John Go Big Guy versus Devastator. That's how we're gonna play it. My adventures in nerding, pretty much for the most part. Oh, I watched a horror movie called Anywhere Disturbing Is All
Not sure.
I ain't finna do none of that. Nah. This one was called it's a Spanish horror movie.
Yeah.
What's that about, man? I'm too scared to watch that shit by myself, dude.
It's fairly tame, to be honest with you. It really is. Like, it's not.
Which one did you watch though? There's two of them.
Well, the one that I watched is the one that's on Netflix.
Yeah, there's two of them. That's the funny shit. There's two of them on Netflix. One of them is the one everybody's talking about, and there's the other one that's black and white.
Nah, not the black and white one. I'm talking about the one that just came out last year. The one that the guy who directed Wreck, which is footage horror films of all time. Who did that movie, which was so excellent film. He did this. So, I was expecting kind of the same pedigree, kind of the same, like, this is going to, be as good. And it wasn't as good. I mean, it is good. Don't get good, it's a good horror movie. But I honestly, I'd have to give it like if I had to do a choice between, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving it like a strong 6.5.
Mm.
It's just not, and the hype behind it. Like people were like, "Oh, this movie is scarier than a mosquito coming out of Magic Johnson's house." I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta go check this out." This shit ain't all that scary, man. It's good, but it's not that.
Would you say that the hype ruined it for you, or even if there wasn't any hype around it, you'd still be like, okay, this was a.
Yeah, I would probably still be the same way. I mean, movie like it's good. It's just not. Well, I guess in a sense, yeah, the hype kind of did ruin it because whether or not I had, paid any attention to the hype, I still probably would have come to just a decent horror film. But then when you couple it with all the hype, like it's so scary, people are shutting it off halfway through. I'm like,
that's the
what
bullshit.
Pussy millennials are you watching this movie and getting that scared over this thing that you gotta, So allegedly it was based off of a true story, which is kind of crazy, but yeah, it's good in the sense that it does give you a of is this really happening to this girl, or is she really getting possessed, or is it just in her mind? So it's good in that sense. Like it gives you that sort of feeling to it a bit, but then it kind of contradicts itself by and I don't want to spoil it, but there are a couple of scenes, one in particular where Veronica talks to another character, and the other character, yes, you are haunted, like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. So it's kind of dichotomous and nebulous that way, but I mean it's alright. It's not bad. It looks good too. It's very well shot, so that's a good thing. Very, very well shot. The next movie I'm really interested in is Steven Soderbergh's Unsane. Like that,
Yeah.
I'm really.
Me and the wife was just talking about that. We definitely want to. Because I'm wondering what the switch up is going to. It's got to have a switch up.
Mm-hmm. Yo, and he shot the whole thing on an iPhone, right?
What? Get the fuck out of here, really?
Yup. He shot the whole thing on an iPhone.
Now, see, I don't.
I'm not sure which iPhone it was. I got to check to be sure which model. I would assume it's like at least a 7 or better, but
I'm
yeah.
have to go see that NCG and you shut on the iPhone. I'm going to see that NCG theaters, bro. NCG theaters, which is the new shit, right? Where it's cool because it's less expensive. Y'all guys got that?
Nah.
All right. So the cool thing with NCG is that tickets be like around like $8 max. And then the way they run like the food and shit, and it ain't like no dollar theater. It's not crazy price because it's not owned by like AMC and all of that shit, right? So like when you get your popcorn, what they do is they do like you get you get 2 items for say $9, 3 items for $15. You know what I'm saying? So you can get like a popcorn and a soda. That's $9. Or you can get a popcorn, a soda, and another popcorn or another soda. That's $15. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to break yourself when you go to the theater. And you go inside, got all the same shit. You got the fucking stadium seating, the lounge seating, and all of that shit. You know what I mean? But they're just not as spread out as fucking as like AMC. So the way we got it, the way we break it down in the house is like, different type of movies, we go different type of places. So like, let's say, you know what I'm saying? So like,
I know where you're going.
You know what I'm saying? So Infinity War, that's gonna be AMC. You know what I mean? And that I mean, on the AMC IMAX for me, the first AMC recliner seats, $20 tickets for the rest of the family and all that shit. And then. But then a movie like, say, something like that, or motherfucking Get Out, or something like that, okay, that's going in NCG theater. You know what I mean? Because we ain't got to break ourselves and we can enjoy. So, yeah, I kind of dig those. I kind of dig those, man. Like Logan would have been an NCG theater movie for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, Nerd Adventures, bro. Go ahead, man.
No, my nerd adventures were pretty much over. I mean, that was kind of it. I just wanted to reminded me to speak on that Unsane film because I'm a huge fan of Steven Soderbergh. Like I love his work. So when I heard that he was doing a horror movie, his first horror movie too, I was like, okay, definitely gonna pay attention to this. And then when I saw the trailer was like super weird and creepy, very unsane. And then I was like, okay, so it really grabbed me because I'm a big fan of like, a person who pays attention to the way movies are shot. The angles and the lighting and like everything is just a little bit with the color grading and just like it just looks like it looks scary. You know what I mean? Just from angles and lighting alone. So really into it.
I don't think it looks scary, but I think it damn sure look interesting though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
when I say scary, I mean in the sense that like if you look at the trailer, like there's definitely something off about it.
It's something bizarre
movie.
There.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It looks really bizarre. And then on top of everything, when I heard the dude did it all on and it was an iPhone 7 Plus, by the way, that he did it on.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, the whole
definitely
thing
going to the theater
on
with that
iPhone
shit.
7.
Definitely going to
So I gotta watch it.
Okay,
iPhone 7 Plus with Filmic Pro. I guess they used. Actually, he essentially, and the budget for this was only 1.2 million. So
with a motherfucking iPhone.
Yeah, I'm like,
iPhone 7. Probably most of that was probably done for like location and salary and post, I would assume. But yeah, the equipment is just $100 phone, $200 phone, not even.
I would assume he at least had
like
like
$20.
multiple for different. Did they shoot different stop and shit, different angles and shit.
Multiple iPhones or something like that.
Yo, what was the app you said?
Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro is I had it on my wife's iPhone, but I didn't get a chance to buy it on my Android phone. But it's essentially a post-production. Well, I wouldn't say post-production, but I mean you can do some post in it, but it's giving you really good control in terms of like aperture and all that kind of stuff. Like
taking a look at it right now, it's really good. As a matter of fact, it's got a lot of you can do a lot, like a lot of shit you would typically probably do in After Effects or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and it was shot at 4K. So I'm assuming it just looks great. Like the trailer looks really, really good. It's shot at low, lots of shots looking up at people and just very, very weird looking. So with tight, close framing, like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm big on that, and I'm trying to get the homie who's doing the the web series that I'm
yeah, how's that going?
It was on hold for a minute. The director, I mean not the director, the guy who was filming it, I guess they, him and the director had a falling out or something like that, so it kind of like just stalled, and then he was waiting to get his money up so that he could buy, essentially hire another film photographer to do the shit. And then I was like, bro, we don't need no expensive cameras like right out the gate. Like we can do this with my Note 5. Like I got lavalier mics, I got a gimbal, I got a boom mic, I got windscreens.
Wait. You lay that verse yet, bro? You lay that verse yet? You got all this, you got all this equipment. You lay that verse yet for fucking for the Xmas song, for the Xmas beat?
I've been laid it. I put it in the chat like last week.
Really? Missed it then. I gotta go check it out then.
I put it in the chat last week, and then writing the verse for Dust's that drowning beat, that real slow.
Oh, I got something nasty for that shit though, dude.
Yeah, I got something crazy for that too.
Bro,
Yep.
I tried to I recorded my verse for that song. I did not like it. Like I changed up some shit to shorten it, but I couldn't recapture the feel I had. Cause I'm major when it comes to that. I'm all into that. Like I don't care if I do a verse it when I'm doing it. You know what I mean? But I want to capture a certain feeling, and I had a feeling when I was, and I can't up one night re-recording that verse like fucking 20 times trying to recapture the way I felt. You know what I mean? And I can't get it back, bro. I'm just going to edit the one I did that I gave you guys originally. I'm just going to edit that shit, cut some lines, move some lines around, and make it shorter,
Tetris,
bro.
Audio Tetris with it.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. I like the way that one felt, man. I can't get that feeling back, man.
It was good. Yeah, it was a good verse. I started writing for the Drowning song.
I apologize, sir. I apologize.
Yeah, no. And plus, I had bought all the film equipment. I bought that over the course of like a few months, like, you know, early in the spring of last year, starting basically. So I just little by little, I just bought these couple of things. And you know, back to the Orders from the Dark Side. That's the name of the web series. You know, the first guy he's gone through two filmmakers, right? He's gone through two photographers. The first one was the one that he had the beef with, and then the second one, I don't know what happened. I don't think they had beef or anything like that. I think it just, you know, just didn't work out. The first dude was really good. He was super good, and he kind of was able to capture, you know, some of what the series needed in terms of, like, you know, filming things from off-kilter angles and stuff like that. Because, you know, I mean, we're all familiar with hood movies, right? Like, everybody knows, you know, hood movies. So we're essentially making a hood movie, but it's a horror movie. So we need to, in order to be able to stand out, we need to film it like a horror movie set in the hood, you know, instead of a hood movie with some horror element. So, you know, filming with a cell phone would go a long way in establishing that, because, you know, you get a slightly lower quality image, you know, and stuff like this. So you can get it just looks more raw and rugged, like, you know. I mean, you can slick it up and make it nice and pretty, but, you know, there's that. And then plus it's cheaper, you know what I mean? So I've been convincing dude, like, yo, and then the trailer for Unsane came out, and I was like, and I sent them the link, and I was like, bro, look what this dude did.
Told you. Told you.
The whole fucking movie.
Gotta do something like that.
Whole movie.
Told you.
With an iPhone 7. Like, you know what I mean? So all you need is that. Yeah. It's weird lighting and off-kilter angles. That's all you need. I mean, outside of a good story and stuff like that, to make, you know, effective horror. You know what I mean?
Who needs story? No, I was playing.
Michael Bay certainly doesn't.
I know, right?
I didn't know he was doing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. He was doing.
I didn't know that we were already doing Adventures of Nerding.
I actually wasn't, but I just kind of went into it, so we're there. We're there.
Oh, I thought we were.
I got a lot.
No, I was just saying, how you guys been doing? You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't talking
I thought that was the unofficial kind of adventure. How's your Adventures in Nerding?
No,
so that's why.
but it's all good. We had to get into it anyway. It's all good, man. It's all good.
I got inspired all of a sudden. I started to remember all the things that I got.
Oh, well, we'll have at it, bro. Once have at it. Feel free. I mean, you know.
Yeah, go ahead. What'd you get?
So check this out. Sometime in around June of last year, I ordered Super 7's He-Man sets.
Oh, you went in on that? Okay.
He-Man, the He-Man figs, the Masters of the Universe figs. And dude, those things just came in like last week.
Wow.
And these are the ones that look like the classic toys but with more articulation, right?
Yeah, the same ones that were being sold on MattyCollector.com, except they gave the license to Super 7 to do. And they ain't too bad, but man, it took them forever. I can imagine that it has a lot to do with, you know, Super 7 just not having the same robust, you know, logistical teams like they do in Hell or something. But yo, yeah, I was like, gosh damn, that was almost a year. And now I just finished.
Bro, I've never heard of that.
I just finished pre-ordering the next set, so I am imagining that it's going to come out next year.
I thought you said there was something going on with them with the license or something with that Super 7 shit.
Oh, well, yeah. What's going on with them is that the figures that were coming in after we all waited however many months for that wasn't looking like what we ordered when we first saw it. Mm-hmm. The controversy is that that Super 7, they made the female characters shorter than the standard female characters that they normally do, and it caused quite a, this we were expecting more of the same, and y'all went a whole different direction without letting us know. And some people wouldn't have even ordered that shit had they known they were gonna shrink Tila and
right, Evelyn.
Yeah.
So when you say a different size, like what's the size now? Like can you give a size comparison?
I would have to say that it's a good it just doesn't look like it goes with the set. I mean, with traditionally, it should be the shorter. It should be like probably a quarter of an inch shorter, but it's so noticeable, and everybody's like, "Yo, that ain't gonna work." Plus,
that ain't gonna work, son.
Yeah, shit ain't gonna work. Son, get the shit out of here, son. Shit ain't working, son.
It looks like it looks very like the gap is pretty bad. So
hey, I never seen a gap I didn't like though. I'm just gonna say that. Straight up, bro. I'm sorry. Please continue, bro. Please continue.
I already got my Tila, my regular Tila, so I ain't even really tripping about that. But yeah, now I'm a little weary when they come trying to release other female figures, because I'm like, man, they're just gonna mess that up.
They're not gonna scale them properly.
Yep. It's off. And then I was able to get the first appearance of Bloodshot, which was Rise Zero at a pretty good grade, 9.8 CBC.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that book's gonna pick up. Well, assuming that the new Bloodshot movie done by Sony is gonna pop off. Hopefully it does pop off.
Hey, tell cats like me who not really on that. Tell cats what that Bloodshot shit is about, bro.
Okay, so Bloodshot is he's one of Valiant staple characters, and I don't know if y'all know anything about Valiant comics. But,
I know about Valiant comics.
Yeah. Remember in the early '90s when Image, DC, Marvel were all competing. Valiant came out of nowhere and
nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they did Bloodshot, Ninjak, Exo Manowar.
I had a Ninjak book. I think I still got a Ninjak book, as a matter of fact. It was I had a graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
Just patting myself on the back real quick. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, well, at any rate, Bloodshot's kind of one of those Punisher-esque kind of characters with really strong, like you can't really put him down kind of abilities. And supposedly Vin Diesel is going to be playing him in the Sony film. So, yeah, I think he looked like he could play the role. I'm sure a lot of guys are they ain't feeling it, but I think he could do it.
Yeah, throw some white paint on him. He could do it.
Right. Yeah, and a red dot in the middle of his chest.
Wait.
This guy's this Bloodshot guy sounds familiar now, and I gotta Google this.
He's that homie that seems to have a perfect fade, kind of like Mr. Sinister all the time.
All the time. His hair was never messed up. I know. Shout out to him and the original Green Goblin for having the illest hairstyle.
I remember this dude. Yeah, I remember this dude. Yeah. Oh, hey, somebody got a let me show it to you. Have you guys seen this this Digibash somebody did with Vin Diesel with Bloodshot?
I might have seen it. Yeah,
I put it in the group chat.
Into it.
I put it in the group chat, but it's fucked up because somebody also did. Okay, so they did a cold ass looking one, right? And then they got one where it's like, I don't know if you guys seen that one picture that was on the internet with Vin Diesel. He was like on a banister on his balcony or some shit, smoking a cigarette, but you could tell he was like in between movies. We all kind of kick it. I think it was around the time when his wife was pregnant or some shit. He got the gut going and all that shit.
Yeah, no.
So they got him done up as Bloodshot, but with the gut going, it should look crazy as fuck. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna share it. Though. But go ahead, please continue, bro. Please continue.
Speaking of which, I really like that guy, man.
Who that?
He a true nerd. He plays Dungeons and Dragons.
And, I fucks with Vin Diesel heavy, man.
And I'm not gonna lie.
He's a big gamer, big time gamer.
He
founded a game studio too.
Yeah. The one where he did that. The game for Pitch Black.
Yeah.
I was getting
on Dark Athena or something like that. It was called.
Yeah. Some kind of I remember though that game was received really well actually for Xbox, correctly. Escape from Butcher Bay. Yeah,
that was the first one, and then the second one was Assault on Dark Athena.
Yeah, man, I tell you, I really like that Chronicles of Riddick series.
Yeah, I like it too.
I like it so much. I dare say that I look forward to that more than I look forward to anything Star Wars coming out these days. That's how much I like it.
Damn, I ain't say that much. Hey, I dropped those images inside the fucking Facebook chat. Y'all want to check it out in the staff chat?
Yeah, I see it. You know what? I could. I'm not mad at what you just said, Yul. I'm not. Like,
I mean, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Because I like the premise. I dig that it's about a space thug when you think about it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up it is, though. I never thought about it like that. Yeah, it is. Space thugging.
Space thug. He got people coming at him right and left, and just like Wolverine, he just, trying to, stay isolated, and you fuck him up if they, they come and get at him.
And the stunner is he's the bad guy. Like, he's not a good dude. He's a bad guy.
Hero like a motherfucker, right?
He's a legit criminal, like actual bad dude. But you know how that goes.
I was actually kind of sad that not Pitch Black, the one after that, Chronicles of Riddick, didn't do as well as Pitch Black did. But then he was competing with Van Helsing at the time, which is strange because they're both from the same movie company. You would think that they would not stumble on each other's feet, trip on each other's feet with that. But
I'm pretty sure Vin Diesel don't give a fuck, bro. He got that money for Fast and the Furious. He don't give a shit about nothing.
You know that he funds he's funding that entire Chronicles of Riddick on his own dime now. Like all the movies that are coming out in that series, it's all him.
I wouldn't doubt it. He got into that production shit pretty heavy, man. He
wasn't gonna do he part of the condition of him signing up for one of the last two Fast and Furious was that they let him do another Riddick film.
So he's got another one coming out?
Yes.
Now I'm a fan of I can't wait for that. I'm a fan of the Riddick shit.
Same here.
Yeah,
I'm just a fan of fucking Vin Diesel. Like, I like the fucking what was that one he did where he played the old mobster, the old comedian mobster?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Find Me Guilty or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that shit,
I saw that in Iraq. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a gangster, Your Honor. I'm a prankster. I like that dude, man.
Yeah.
What else you got there, you?
Yeah, I remember how I mentioned that I read three different trilogies in a span of 2 weeks on Audible. Now, yeah, this one series that I finished from beginning to end was this one called the First Law series. Now, if y'all are fans of Game of Thrones, this series is kind of in a similar vein. And man, I tell you, the characters are compelling as fuck, dude. Like, let me just mention 2 of them, so y'all understand just how serious this stuff is. The first guy, which is the real popular guy, his name is Logan Nine Fingers.
Logan Nine Fingers.
Yeah, he's a barbarian from the north, but he don't really come across as a barbarian. But they call him barbarian because when he come down to the more civilized cities of the south, they all just refer to anyone from the north as a bunch of barbarians, kind of like them wildlings over in past the wall in Game of Thrones, right? This dude, like he's kind of like imagine a really good fighter, right? But then he's also got multiple personality disorder, and dude, when his psychopathic personality comes out, anyone within the range of his sword is toast. Women,
sounds like
children
Logan
alike.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, not Logan. Legion.
Yeah. What happens is he's Logan Nine Fingers, and then he hulks out when things are going bad. Like his other personalities, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde comes out and pretty much tells him, I'm taking over. And he's like, no, I can't. He loses control, and the dude takes over, and basically he gains like I wouldn't say super strength, but a lot more strength than he normally would, and he just kills everyone. So friend, foe alike, if the Bloody Nine personality comes out, they're done.
What's it called? The Bloody Nine personality, you say?
Yeah, they call him the Bloody Nine. He's real. Yeah, I mean, but he's regularly Logan Nine Fingers. He's just regular ass veteran dude who knows how to fight, knows how to hold himself well. But he's usually put in situations where the odds are stacked so bad that his multiple personality decides to take over and wreck shop. And unfortunately, there's a lot of collateral, friendly fire when he's around. His friends got to all watch out and the thing is, you don't know if it's the Bloody Nine or him in any given situation in a heat of battle. So just steer clear of him. And the other character.
Real quick, I'm sorry. So we under tornado warning here. And I guess apparently the weather's rolling in, so if I disconnect, you guys know why, okay? And we'll take it up. But go ahead, though.
Okay, and the last character, who's my favorite character of the bunch, right, is this guy called Inquisitor Glocta. Now, if you can imagine...
I love these names. I love these names.
You would love the series, man. I'm telling you. This dude, he was a war vet for say that he's Jaime Lannister, right? A golden child that just knew how to fight, and everybody knew he was like an awesome duelist and everything, right? Pretty boy, and girls would swoon over him and all that other stuff, right?
Is he smashing the relative?
No, he's not smashing the sister.
I'm just playing. Go ahead.
But dude, so this guy, he's right now he's a cripple, and he's messed up. And what happened was, he got captured by the enemy in one of these wars that got fought, and he was a POW for 2 years, right? And these guys in a hot dungeon in the desert, where he was, pretty much, chilling for a whole 2 years, they would torture him every single day. They started with his teeth and started to knock out his teeth in parts where it alternates. So even if he tried to chew, he couldn't chew because, you know what I mean? The teeth that they put,
no teeth.
Yeah, they messed him up. They messed up his hip and everything. And dude, he's a miserable wreck from all of this. And when they finally let him go, and there was nothing he could no longer do anything that he normally does because obviously he's crippled as fuck, right? But he decides to become an inquisitor instead, which is basically a glorified cop torturer, and he tortures confessions out of anyone that the crown needs him to torture, right? Now it's funny because people are always how people try to bribe themselves out of situations or threaten him, right? But he ain't feeling none of it because, like, dude, no amount of money is gonna bring my legs function back, face back, and the fact that I shit in the bed, every morning. Like, damn. And so when people try to threaten his life,
Tell
he
him
goes,
to stop shitting in the bed. I got toilets for that.
And my misery. Well, he can't help it because he's got, he's PTSD, and like I said, that they did to him. If you can imagine all the terrible things that can be done to a man, that's exactly what they did. And this is what he said. He said one of the pleasures, or like one of the reliefs that he had in that entire situation was when it was time to drink. Like, they didn't give him water, and this is in the desert. They would piss in his mouth, and he would.
Damn.
All right, now you sound like the movies Alpha Tape be talking about, bro. What's this movie called? What's this book called again?
The first Lost series. It's really good stuff, man. And he's like my favorite character because he just, after all his personality and how jaded he is and everything, and he's one of the good guys, right? But none of the characters are good. They're all, well, they're all flawed.
That's how we like them, right? That's how we like them,
right?
That's how we like them. Yeah.
Oh, and just one last thing, and it's gonna be real quick. The one of the other main characters. Imagine if Gandalf was kind of an evil, manipulative guy.
Gandalf from what?
Gandalf the Great from like imagine if he was, Gandalf was
an asshole, basically.
Was an asshole, basically, yeah. And he would and make all sorts of threats, like, well, Bilbo, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't cough up that fucking ring, I'm gonna have to burn the entire Shire down.
Oh, you talking Gandalf from the Tower joint?
Yeah, that
Lord
kind
of the Rings.
Nah, we don't watch that.
I watched that. Yeah,
no, we don't
watch all of it.
Oh no, we don't watch that in my house. Ain't no representation in there, bro.
I know there's not a single black person.
No, I'm
in
just
any of those
messing with
movies.
y'all. I'm just messing with y'all. Go ahead, bro. I'm just messing with you.
The other trilogy I'm talking about, I'm gonna have to save that for a whole other episode because that one was really freaking good too. Yeah, it's called the Night Angel trilogy, and if you like anything with assassins, that's probably one of the ultimate assassin fantasies that I've ever read. It's pretty good.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Okay. Anything else in your nerd adventures there, bro?
Oh, I did buy a movie on digital. I don't know if you guys already caught up to this, but there was a manga back in the day called Blade of the Immortal.
That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
I picked up the movie, and it was directed by Takashi Miike. So
yeah.
That then yeah, it's really good samurai bloody action movie. So
I would assume it's pretty crazy. It's pretty violent because Takashi Miike he gets crazy with the violence, Miike.
They made a live action of that joint.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's live action. Highly recommended if you're into Asian cinema in general.
Yeah.
It's on Google Play and YouTube, guys. Everybody want to go check it out, listeners? It's on Google Play and YouTube. You can go check it out for $3.99.
$3.99.
And that's the extent of my nerd adventures.
I'm looking up this Blade Immortal because it sounds familiar. I think I've seen that shit. I'm pretty sure I have, bro.
You know the premise, right?
What's the premise? Remind me.
It's about this immortal samurai who's cursed to have to kill over like 10,000 evil men. So naturally, a show where he has to kill that many people is going to be pretty bloody.
I'm about to look this up. I got a hard drive with like a terabyte worth of fucking anime. I'm pretty sure I got that bitch. I'm about to go search through it. And if I don't, guys, then I gotta fucking find it because that shit sounds interesting, man.
You know how Afate is all about horror movies?
Yeah.
And I'm all about like martial arts, Asian cinema films. I can never get enough of watching those movies,
man,
for better or worse.
Let me run this by y'all, man. It was this anime, man. I've been trying to track this shit down for years now, bro. For more than years, for decades. So I remember watching. It was out around the same time as like Akira and what's that one shit, Jinroni or whatever the fuck that shit is. So the premise is that it's like with most anime, it's like fucking Neo Tokyo or whatever the fuck, right? And there's these races, these cats partake in these races, and but there's also a freedom fighting force, right? And they roll around this big ass like mobile tank thing, and these vehicles they ride these they're like unicycle bikes or some shit. They got like one wheel, and it's, you guys see Spiral Zone?
Yeah.
All right, so you know how in Spiral Zone they got those two particular vehicles. They got the one got the big, it's like a big wheel, and the person sits in the middle. Then they got the other motorcycle. It's like a one wheel motorcycle. You guys familiar with that? So in the anime,
so, yeah.
they're riding these machines like that, right? And at first, there's the one cat. He was like I guess he's like the hero of the story or whatever. And he's like involved in these races. These races are like underground races or whatever, right? But then he ends up getting involved with the revolution or whatever. And they got these mechanized, weaponized as motorcycles, bro. That's all I can really remember. It's from my childhood. I was a kid. And I mean, I was literally like, I think I was like in I think I was in like 6th or 7th grade when I saw it, maybe younger than that. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to track that shit down forever. I cannot remember the name of it at all. I know it came out around, huh?
If you're talking in your era that you're describing, there were 3 big ones that I know of, other than Akira, and that was Bubblegum Crisis.
I'm familiar with that.
Bubblegum Crisis. I love Bubblegum Crisis.
I both of them up on neither one of those. I cannot remember what the fuck the anime was called, man. I gotta find it though, man. Adventures in Nerding for this week and a couple weeks that we haven't been on. So I watched Voltron. This the legendary
third
defense
season.
Yeah, that it was pretty good. I liked it. I'm not.
Yeah, everybody
go ahead.
Is best. No, I was just gonna say everybody's saying that the 3rd season so far is the best one.
It's been really good. It was really serious. You know, what I mean, it still got like a little bit of jokes and fun and shit, but it was a little more mature, right? But I'm not a fan of the whole 6 episode shit. I think that's that's the repercussion of when like, you know, nerds and fanboys are being like, oh, I don't need that many episodes. I don't need 13 episodes. Next thing we only get like 6. You know what I'm saying? I really felt like I could take at least 10. Give me 10 at least, right? But it was actually pretty good. I like what they're doing, and I'm not sure if we talked about this on the last time we did Detox. I'm probably sure we did not, because it's been a while, right? But I like what they're doing with Lothar, man.
Yes.
I like what they're doing with Lothar. I like what they're doing with the their whole the villains and all that shit. I like what they're doing with it, man.
Agreed.
I'm looking forward to seeing the next seasons of that come around, and I'm hoping that it continues to be successful and they continue making the toys and all that shit. Which some we're gonna get into later with the Toys R Us thing. I'm wondering how that would affect the Voltron toys and shit like that, man. But it's a real. So if motherfuckers have not gone and seen it, motherfuckers should go and see it. I mean, you should watch it on Netflix, yo. That Voltron joint was really good, man.
I agree. I really love the direction that they're going with this thing. Yeah. It's nothing that I predicted it was ever going to be, and I'm more happy about it than ever. I'm cool with it, man. Now I am wondering if at some point, because so if you guys both watched it, right? The last season.
Mm-hmm.
So that last episode, the white line episode, when Lothar kind of gets, you can tell he's kind of got a little bit of animosity because you know, he got kicked out of the world, whereas the princess was able to continue forward and get the secrets, right? So I'm wondering if they're going to continue like a relationship between them two, or if he's going to reveal himself as being, because it seems like he's genuinely not really of so much a villain per se. You know what I mean? I mean, we know what his bloodline is, but he doesn't seem to really be a villain. And I'm wondering if they're going to eventually turn him into that, or if they're going to let Hagar take up the mantle with a villain, because that would be different. Because, you know, Lothar in the original shit, he was a bad guy. The king was Zarkon was a bad guy, and of course Hagar was a bad guy, but she wasn't running shit. You know what I mean? I think it would be kind of, and she got the now that Lothar's his stable, I call him his general stable, the chicks. Now that they backing her, she could actually run shit. But I mean, I know he's taking control of the I can't remember the name of the army, but I know he's taking control. You know what I mean? And then the battle, that conflict is still there between her being his mom and him not wanting to admit to it or accept it. I'm just interested in seeing what they're doing. There's a lot of fucking little stories there that they can really do some shit with. So I'm interested in seeing where it goes, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
I you know, here's my prediction, because there's one of two ways that they could go about this. They had one. They reveal Lothar to eventually be the heel that he was from, you know, that we all predicted him to be from his old school days,
the original series,
right? Like they just can't get past he just can't get past his nature. Or two, I'm thinking that they're gonna take this route, the more you know, in a more PC world, they figured it'd make more sense that he'd be the voice of reason for his people, I guess, and leave them alive. Because I can't think of anyone who's gonna run shit, that's a good guy once he passes away. If that, if he's revealed to be the bad guy, unless they eventually decide that they're gonna have some other I forgot what the race of people are called, but you know what I'm talking about. They introduce another new guy to take lead at some point, or girl, that's just my prediction. Because the problem is, who would be the? You're right. If you're thinking about it, Hagar will be the main villain, unless they introduce another main villain. But it's kind of but Lothar would make the obviously good villain. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
That's the conundrum that the Voltron staff would run.
But then, if they go to make, okay, so obviously there's a relationship forming between Lothar and the princess, right? And the only reason why I see this kind of possibly happening is because you know how in most sequels, retellings, or whatever, they kind of try to find, they kind of try and take the original occurrences and then retell it. You know what I mean, within that same story. So, like, you guys seen an anime called Basilisk?
Yeah, that was a badass. That's a badass samurai. Ninja, show. Love it. Romeo and Juliet.
I never saw that one.
Okay.
With a Ninja Scroll twist.
Yeah. So, if I'm not mistaken, Ninja Scroll actually came from Basilisk, right?
I think it's the other way. It might have been the other way around.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're right. They came around roughly the same time.
But they're definitely connected in some way or whatever, right? Yeah, I got both too. They're definitely connected in some way. But yo, after you gotta go. I'll send you a link to it. You gotta go find it and watch it, bro. But fucking so what is? You got these two rival ninja clans, and they're actually being manipulated by you. Wait, have you seen this Ninja Scroll?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so a lot of the same clans they're talking about in Ninja Scroll, they are in Basilisk, right? And it's crazy when I don't want to ruin it for you. When you watch Basilisk, having watched Ninja Scroll, you see the comparisons and shit. Yeah, the similarities and shit. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so back to my original.
And by the way, you can say whatever you. I'm immune to spoilers. Like spoilers don't bother me. So
okay, so my original point was the basic story of Basilisk was you had these two ninja clans, right? And they were being brought together by the love between the son of one and the daughter of one, right? And they were both also the leaders of those clans, right? And then some betrayal occurs, which is headed by one of the higher clans or whatever, right? And so these two ninja clans become they start warring with each other. They had this deep running hate, like Palestine's, you know what I'm saying, like Palestine and Israel type shit. You know what I'm saying? So so fast forward, generations later, that original couple, that dude and the chick, they're old now and they're the heads of their clans. Well, their grandchildren now are in the same position that they were in, whereas. But flip flop, you know what I'm saying? So the son from one, the daughter from the other. Now they're coming together, and they're going to bring these two different relationships together. These two different clans together, whatever, right? But it's ordered that they go to war, and like they have this competition, and whoever can wipe out the other one first gets blah 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 and all this other shit, right? Fuck. Okay. So my original point was I could see Voltron kind of doing that same thing, whereas. In the beginning of the Voltron Legendary Defenders, for anyone who hasn't watched it, spoilers are coming at your ass now. Like the Zarkons people, what are their people called? The Galra. Galra. Yeah. So the Galra, and then what's the princesses people called? Do you remember? Does anybody remember? Whatever the princesses people called.
Starts with an A. Forget what it starts with an A, like Alturians or something. Like that.
Yeah, okay. So the Galra and the Altarians, they were at peace in the beginning, and because the princess's father, which was the king, and then King Zarkon. They were homeboys, right? They were working together, and they created the Lions and all this bullshit, right? And then one of the Altaians who worked with the princess's father, she went to work with Zarkon, and they fell in love, and they got married, and blah 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 blah, and right. And then she fell ill, and beef happened, and whatever, so they fell out. Well, I'm thinking that I could see it going that way again, whereas the princess and Lothar, like, they get involved, and then they have some kind of falling out. And that drives Lothar to become the bad guy again. I don't really want to see that happening, but I could see them doing that because it would be like a mirror reflection of what happened before. You know what I mean? With the sexes, with the genders change, the gender representation change. You know what I'm saying? So I could not so much like sex change, but you know what I mean, right? I could see that happening, right. But I don't really want to see that happen. And then something else I'm wondering if they're gonna do, cause if so you know how they rescue Pidge's father, right? And so he goes back to Galaxy Garrison. I'm wondering if he takes all this he's taking all the technology that he's found and uncovered back to Galaxy Garrison. I'm wondering if they would use that to do a spin-off and create the Voltron vehicle force. You know what I'm saying? And do a whole, that would be dope.
That's what I was hoping for too.
Yeah, that would be dope, bro. But using the writers of these times so it could actually be interesting. You know what I'm saying? Versus being like lame like it was back in the day and shit. But so
I would love that.
That's what I was hoping for.
The vehicle Voltron is. I like the vehicle Voltron. I'm a big fan of it.
That would be real cool, man.
Like Pidge's brother's gonna end up being part of that team next. Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, I would love to see him do a spin-off because we need more cartoons with like this for us. I mean, let's be real, kids ain't watching cartoons. And this is gonna go to our conversation later, but kids ain't watching cartoons. We watching cartoons. You know what I'm saying? So they might as well dig in, and they're digging into the shit that we remember. So they might as well fucking revamp all that shit. What else in my adventures in nerding? I went and saw the Tomb Raider joint, the Laura Croft Tomb Raider. You know what?
Titty's too small, huh?
Yeah. Titties is too small. Ain't no ass. Like the chick herself, she was good. It's like it was there, but then it wasn't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it had all the things it needed to make the movie good, but just when you get into like, oh yeah, it's good, there's some bullshit that happened off to the side and just derail it. You know what I mean? So I would have to say that if I had to give it like a rating between a 1 and a 10, I have to give it like a 5 or a 6. You know what I mean? And only because like it's not like it's bad. It's got everything it needs to be good. It's just certain things, like you be into it, like the action be popping. But then fuck spoil. Are you guys gonna go see it? Or you guys gonna wait for DVD or some shit?
Oh yeah, I'm you can spoil it. It's all good. I'm gonna see it anyway, regardless. It doesn't matter. Spoilers don't bother me. I
must be drunk. These 3 drinks got me talking about spoilers and shit. Okay, so it got me saying spoiler. So the whole reason why she even goes off on her quest and shit is, and I'm good. I'm all in. I'm feeling it. I'm enjoying it. Like the shit she do, I'm digging her character. She ain't got the biggest tatas. She ain't the thickest chick, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. She ain't got the motherfucking Angelina Jolie lips, but it's cool. I'm all in. You know what I'm saying? Because she's way more aggressive and she's way more like, you believe when she's fighting, you believe it. You know what I mean? But
that was just the chief complaint of everybody else. That's all. That's why I brought it up.
So what now?
That was the chief complaint of most viewers. Is like, that ain't Lara Croft. She don't.
Yeah, I mean, for real, you gotta have him. You gotta have him knocks, man. It should have fed her a little bit, but you could tell she's more fit because you can tell she's more fit. She actually gets into like the workouts and the fucking fight training and all that shit, right? Because she got a little bit of muscle tonage and shit. But so. The whole reason why she go to the island is because she find out that her dad's been chasing some shit, and he asks her to destroy some shit, but she used the information to go and find them, right? And it's all interesting up to this point. Everything, the VFX graphics and all that shit is dope for the intro, the music, the soundtrack, the you know that one scene people was complaining about her making that jump. Fuck them, that shit was on point too. Like it was all good. Then she gets to the island, and it's a few little things that draw you back here and there, but it's still fucking good. But then she gets to the island and her dad pops up. The motherfucker's still alive. And at that point, I was like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, that's real fucking convenient, bro. Like, you ruined it. Because I was feeling her the way I was feeling her and her story. You're going to bring her dad back in for him to die later. And maybe, because he's crazy at one point. Next, you know, he's sane, and I wasn't feeling that. It took me out of it. Like, and you know me, I'm pretty. I can just get into something and enjoy it, but that really it took me out of it.
Took you off.
Yeah, I mean, it damaged the story. It damaged the pace of the movie. It damaged the story. Yeah, and really, to be honest, I hate to say this because I always shit on everybody else for saying this. But the story didn't need her dad to be alive. I think the only, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, damn.
You know if I say that, then
you said that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the story did not need her dad to be alive, yo. We didn't need that. No one needed that. I think the only reason why he was allowed to come back is because of his star power. You know what I mean? Maybe they didn't trust her to carry the movie by herself, but in all honesty, he wasn't really contributing anything past the point of him dying originally. He was good where he was left off at. They brought him back in and fucked it up. So I don't know. If you can go see that at NCG Theater, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can imagine that a lot of people felt the same way because people were still watching Black Panther instead.
Yeah, Black Panther still. Okay, Adventures in Nerding, a little more Wakanda love. So Black Panther officially 5 weeks in a row, number one, 1.2 billion, biggest fucking stateside domestic gross earning so far, right? Like it's and it caught Avatar, right? So it's just it caught Avatar. It's caught a couple of the Marvel movies. What's the Marvel movies waiting for it to catch? On one of the Avengers joints, right?
Avengers is the only other one.
Because it caught everybody else.
Outperformed.
And you better fucking believe that it's gonna do it. You better believe it's gonna do it, bro. And everybody's saying, you know, you guys remember originally they was saying like, you know, it's doing really good, it's doing really well, but no way it's gonna beat out Infinity War. You know what? I think that it's going to be right there with Infinity War. If Infinity War does top it, I think it's only going to be by a small threshold. You know what I'm saying? A small threshold, a small gap. You know what I mean? Because here's the deal: the reason why Black Panther's doing so well is because minorities, mainly blacks, is turning out for it, right? When Infinity War comes out, nerds and sci-fi and comic lovers turn out for it. Definitely, people are going to turn out for it because of the Black Panther craze and how much more attention Marvel's gotten now because it. And then of course, motherfuckers going to turn out automatically for it anyways. People that was going to turn out anyways, right? But the audience that came out for Black Panther, that had never seen any Marvel movies,
it wasn't typical Marvel audience.
They ain't coming out. They're not coming out for it. I'll give you maybe a percentage of them will come out because of the fact that Black Panther's in it, because of the fact they found something that they like. Having gone to see Black Panther, maybe they're like, oh man, I can fuck with this Marvel shit now, right? But I don't believe that full audience is going to come out and support Infinity War. Now, having said that, I'm not saying that Infinity War is not going to do large numbers. I know some motherfuckers right now, in the future of right now, like, fucking Braves talking that bullshit. You know, he's fucking talking about this fucking Infinity War. You know, I can hear him right now, right? I can hear him, bro. But I'm not saying that Infinity War is not going to make the crazy ass money it was going to make. I'm saying that everyone who was saying that, yeah, congratulations to Black Panther, but it's not going to do what Infinity War is going to do, which I don't know why you would make that comparison anyways. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say right now that that's bullshit, and that's not gonna float. That dick ain't gonna float when Infinity War come out. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna float. Motherfucking Black Panther's gonna be right there with it, or at least biting at his heels. That's just my call.
Yeah. I mean, I would echo that sentiment. I mean, largely, mainly because of what you said in terms of the audience, right? Like, you had like my mom. 68 years old, like she's always been into sci-fi and stuff like that. Like my mom is cool in the sense that she's, she knows who Picard is, and she knows, you know, Cisco's wife's name and like, you know what I mean? Like my mom is into that type of stuff. But my dad, like, nah, he's not into any of that stuff. He thinks it's all, you know, stupidness. He was chomping at the bit to go see Black Panther. Like,
yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
That movie is major, bro.
It transcended the average, you know, Marvel or science fiction or superhero or action movie person.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it did so well. And not to mention, you know, like Mickey said, we showed up and we showed out for that shit, black people. Like we really did.
Yeah.
And I got to retake some. I got to eat crow on something, and I got to backtrack on something. And this is after listening to. This is like it's been some weeks now, but I don't know if I got a chance to do it before. I had a few drinks, so maybe I haven't. I don't remember. But it was good. I got to do it. So, listening to the Black Delegates, which is Minister Ryan's podcast, right? And big ups to Minister Ryan because he came on.
Shout out Ryan.
He came up on the Nerd Life on Fire podcast. Him and Afate, of course, and we had a really great conversation. But he made a point on one of the cats on his podcast made a point that it's hating when motherfuckers was giving people shit for coming out when black people was giving other black people shit for dressing the dashikis and all that shit to go see the movie. And I was one of them. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. Y'all ain't got no motherfucking, you know what I mean? Not because I'm against wearing the dashikis and shit like that or the motherfucking representation of the homeland. I'm more like, you know what I'm saying? It was more like motherfuckers who
get off the bandwagon.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I had to check myself after listening to this. He made a very valid point. It's the equivalence of cosplay. You know what I'm saying? It is the equivalent of cosplay, but with more meaning. You know what I'm saying? So, because I was on the fence with it because a part of me, you know, I'm typically on the fence with everything, right? I'm on some Tupac shit, like I'm a walking contradiction. You know what I'm saying? I was like, a part of me was like, well, you know, if it brings out motherfuckers, if it brings the black excellence out in motherfuckers and they feel like, and it makes them want to take up them times and bring out the bees and rock the colors. Because I was that guy back in the day rocking the bees and teaching my little baby sister what the colors of the African flag stood for and all that. You know what I'm saying? This is for the blood. You know what I mean? All that shit, right? So a part of me was like, yeah, and my dad got pissed off me for that when I was teaching my little sister that shit when she was little, because she was like, I think Jonica was like 3 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, the red, the black, and the green. Jonica, say it. You know what I'm saying? But like if it, a part of me was like, if it makes motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, represent that again, recognize that again, appreciate that again, then good. But then the other side of me, which is like the asshole side, was like, you know, nah, them motherfuckers is fronting. You know what I mean? They perpetrating the front right now, right? But the cat made a real good point on the Black Delegates. If you guys haven't listened to Black Delegates out there, please go check it out. He's like, it's the equivalent of cosplay. Why are we giving them shit for cosplaying? We don't give nobody shit when they go to see Star Wars and they turn out in motherfucking stormtrooper outfits and shit like that, right? So I was like, yeah, you know, I gotta check myself. So I wanna eat that little bit of crow and backtrack on that, and you know, I wanna settle out, yo. I wanna settle out. So yeah. But
good job, sir.
Yeah, I'm man enough to say when I was wrong, and I was motherfucking wrong, bro. I was motherfucking wrong.
It happens. Yeah, and it's the equivalent of, like, you know, it's the same thing like when, you know, white people are wearing dashikis and whatnot going to see Black Panther, right? Like, they're allowed to do that. Like, it's okay. It's cosplay. Like, you could do that.
Hey, man. Cosplay, man. So, yeah. So for anybody who I might have gave shit to, I apologize to you. As far as anything else in Nerd Adventures, we've been talking for so long on Nerd Adventures it's an hour and 24 minutes now on Adventures Nerd. So I'm pretty sure I got more. Go ahead.
I just want to say one last thing about the Black Panther stuff and the love for Black Panther. So I don't know. I'm sure some of you in the out there in the listening audience, you know, are familiar with the Realm of Collectors, ROC group. Shout out to the Realm.
Realm.
Realm. So I posted, you know, very favorable things about Black Panther in that group. And generally speaking, the conversation is, positive around it, in terms of people saying, okay, this is cool. And I'm glad, even some of our white brothers and sisters being like, I don't get the cultural reference, but I'm glad you do. And, it's cool that, this is there and this, that, and the third. I just want to say formally, to them, thank you for being understanding. And then there's this one dude, this one fucking coon ass motherfucker.
Who that is, bro? You don't gotta say his name if you don't want to say his name. But...
I'm gonna say his name. I wish I'd do it though. Actually, it's Thomas something or other. He's got like a French last name. Starts with an L. If you're listening to this, you could eat a dick, nigga. Like straight up and down.
Yeah, and he mean that shit, yo. And he mean that shit.
I meant that shit. Like every time I post something nice about it, he's like, "Yo, it's not. Stop. It's not that serious. Like, there's no cultural significance in this."
What is he talking about? What is he talking about?
Coming to America is more culturally significant. Blah 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 blah. And every single time I post some shit in there about it, he comes in and he basically knocks the chess pieces all over the board. And he makes Pinkerton or Dust turn off commenting on the thread. So fucking.
I need to know who this cat is, bro. You get a chance, you gotta let me know who this is, man.
Yeah, I'll really tag one of the posts in the thread. So fuck that dude.
Yeah, I mean, I expect shade from other people, but not from. Why would you do that? Why would you sabotage?
He's an idiot. He's a coon. He's a fucking Uncle Ruckus ass lost nigga. That's what he is.
Yo, there's this cat. I can't really. I'm not of a mind to really speak on it like clearly. It's this cat. He's got a Facebook, but not Facebook. I'm sorry, a YouTube page, and he was kind of like on some same shit like that, like shucking and diving and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shucking and jiving and shit. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, we are laughing all the way to the bank. And not only that, something positive actually came from the movie in the sense that Disney donated a couple million to, do some STEM shit in Oakland. So the movie basically, kind of came true in a sense. So, yeah.
Life, art imitate life, or...
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's all. I just wanted to add that last bit of fuck you.
Yo. Yeah, I want to shout out to within my nerd adventures. I want to shout out to Solomon Witt, dude. Yeah, real cool cat. Who I got. Yo, let me say this real quick, man. So for cats who know or don't know, like, so I'm an artist. And I've been slowly making this progression.
Damn good one.
Thank you very much, sir. I've
agree.
been slowly making this progression into working in design. But not only that, the ultimate goal is to get into toy design. And on the strength of,
you got to shout out Darius George.
Yeah. Yo, look, it's a lot of cats that I've been coming in contact with, on the strength of from whether they've been down from when I was doing toy reviews, or know me from the podcast. And I would say more than anything, those two mediums have brought a lot of good people in front of it put me in contact with a lot of good people, bro. And I want to take a moment to shout out, it's a good bit of people I've come in contact with. And I don't want to say names specifically because a few of these people who work in the industry, toy design, and who work as artists, mainly the toy design guys, they don't really want, they've been giving me good information. They don't really want everybody to know that they shouldn't be putting out. You know what I mean? So I've been getting a lot of good information, a lot of tips, a lot of inside information and shit like that. Having real good conversations.
That's what's up.
But Solomon, the homie Saul, man, I got to get that brother on the show first of all, because I think a Nerd Life on Fire show. You know what I'm saying? If you got to come back for it, I think that would be.
You already know,
because it's highly political. His cat is on point when it comes to some shit that we be talking about. But this brother's got his own toy line, that's coming out. He ran a GoFundMe for it. But not just that, he's worked in the industry for a long time. He has a lot of connections, and on the strength of him reaching out to purchase some shit that I was selling, and then we started conversating, and then we started talking, and then we started talking about some other shit. We started talking about toy designing and shit, and the brother's like took it upon himself, because when I say he's tied in, he's heavily tied in, like a lifetime of tied in. You know what I'm saying? To like a lot of shit, and not just toy shit, like comic art shit. You know what I mean? So a lot of different things that I'm looking forward to accomplishing in my life. The brother took it upon himself to start like you know how you find someone, like I'm gonna say this, and please don't, and guys don't take it, not you guys, but listeners don't take it out of context, right? But typically when you want to accomplish something, you find someone who's accomplished that shit, and you use them as a mentor. Not use them, but you study up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's taken it upon himself to kind of start guiding me in that way, and you know what I'm saying, look at the work I'm doing, like give me information, lead me in the right direction, and even beyond that, you know what I'm saying, and just put me on the path to whereas within a certain time frame, I'll be on the level to do this, to finally put this dream that I've been working towards into effect. You know what I'm saying? So I want to so that's been a major part of my adventures in nerding, like a major part, bro. And I want to shout him out like majorly, because I talked to a lot of people, and big ups to a lot of people I've talked to. I talked to some people who said they were going to do some things and didn't fucking come through, but no worries. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing is promised, and my destiny falls in my lap to make it happen. So, if you said you're going to do something and you didn't come through, no problems, no worries. I'm still blessed by the conversation and the interaction, but this cat has been on point. You know what I mean? On point in a major way. And it's that missing component that I've needed. Someone that can like give, someone that's accomplished it, that's doing it, and can give me direct guidance and take a look at my shit and say, nah, that's fucked up. That's change that. You know what I mean? He's there. He can do
that's
that.
what's up.
And he's volunteered to do that. So
not many of us have that kind of insight into those types of things. Like if I have a friend, and I'm gonna name drop because I'm kind of cool with him. Mm-hmm. Steven DiGennaro, he's a guy who did the found footage 3D film. So I met a couple of the actors in the film. We went to WizardCon. My little brother, my youngest brother, and my daughter. We went to WizardCon in Philly and saw it like when it was making the circuit rounds. And it's an awesome found footage movie, by the way. So, I met a couple of the actors, and, we, just basically, conversed for a little while. And then I, basically was just bigging up the movie so much that Steven reached out to me. And, we've been kind of kicking it ever since. And I've been kind of sort of just like following him in terms of like his, auteur nature. Like he does, filming and stuff like that. I'm sort of kind of bitten by the amateur film bug lately. So, I've just been kind of,
we need all of that too, bro. We need all of
that. Yeah. Following that in his footsteps, sort of like how you are, doing with your people.
It makes a difference, man. Like, so I was listening to one of the many podcasts I listen to, right? Like, but not like nerd shit, on other shit, right? And they were talking about they were shooting statistics, right? And they were talking. This is like shortly after that town hall that Bernie Sanders just held with Elizabeth Warren and a couple other cats, right? And they were talking statistics and shit about like, my point is they brought up a good point. They brought the point about not so much needing or there being a lack of what is the term that everybody's always talking about, the disparagement between like the rich and the poor and income disparity and all of this shit, right? But they on the show they brought up this point of there being opportunity, a lack of disparity in opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because of you're in a certain, and that's not to say that's your excuse for not making it. That by no means am I saying. Anyone who knows me knows I would never say that, right? Because no matter what, I am a firm believer, and I have to say it as many times as I can say it, I am a firm believer that no matter what the fuck your situation is, no matter what the fuck you came from, no matter what, it falls on you to change your path and make your story what you want it to be. You know what I mean? We all have the ability to do that. I don't give a fuck where you from. You know what I mean? If some of us have a little more things to claim as far as obstacles than others, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you in some third world country or some shit. But no matter what, there's no fucking man in the clouds with his thumb on the back of your neck stopping you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. And having said that, because there is not that, that means no matter what, you can still do something. You know what I mean? So that's that, right? But having said that, there is a imbalance when it comes to opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Where you have some people that just some people. There's a class of people that have opportunities that are more readily available. Right? You know what I mean? Versus others who have to fight through more just to get to the bullshit opportunities that you don't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? So, and one of the major things that hold a lot of us back or stop a lot of us or help or create the obstacle for a lot of us to stumble over is not having a mentor who has succeeded in certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, 100%.
So when this argument comes up, and I don't mean to turn this to a Nerd Life on Fire episode, right? But I'm just saying, one of the things that comes up with the whole, like we were talking about before, when conservatives say, pull yourself up by the bootstrap and shit like that. Yeah, you got to understand, like, even when you tell your story, and your story is the worst story because, you had to work through college and you had to eat like Sean Hannity. This shit get on my fucking nerves. I had to eat mac and cheese, and I had to work at 2 different bus tables at 2 different restaurants. Yeah, bruh. You know what I mean? But still, your father in your home had done this and laid this path out before you. So you have something to gauge it. You have something to gauge the path off of. You know what I mean? And if not your father, there's somewhere in that lineage where you have you can gauge the path of success or how things should be done. Because even the concept, the idea of when I get out of high school, I'm going into college. You know what I'm saying? Whereas for a good group of us, bro, the path that's laid.
That's not even a thing.
Yeah, it's not even a thing. And then and to add to that, you got the thing that is the thing is I'm going to fail. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to just get by. This is how we just get by. And I know that for a fact because growing up, that was a part of our story. You know what I mean? What's laid out before you is not how you succeed. Like my dad when he was there, and even when he wasn't there, and he tried to his best. You know what I'm saying? It was words because he had not accomplished this. He was hoping that I would accomplish it because he was not able to in his lifetime, and his father before him was not able to. You know what I'm saying? But it's still words. He has no clue as to how to make these things happen other than what he's been able to piece and part together. You know what I mean? And that's not a path. That's not, you know what I'm saying? So when the path is just laid before you is, you got bad credit before you graduate from high school. You know what I'm saying? You got to choose between lights and paying the water bill, or eating and paying the gas bill, or we using grandmama food stamps to get food because we ain't got no money. It's a whole culturally, it's a whole different thing, and it's not just a race thing; it's a cultural thing. You know what I'm saying? So. And I've been going for a minute. I'll wrap this up. When you have anyone, you
speaking truth though, bro.
Yeah. Anyone who's been blessed enough to have someone who can, anyone who's been blessed enough to have a mentorship or have someone who has succeeded and can show you, talk to you, tell you, you know what I mean? Show you within what they're living now. That's a blessing. You know what I mean? And it makes all the world a difference. And so I just want to give a shout out to that guy for that one. And then 2, I want to send a shout across the bow of a lot of cats who talk a lot of shit about like cultures and things they have no concept of. Besides what Fox News or what their perceptions tell them. You know what I mean? You don't have no concept of it. You don't got no idea of it. And your toughest, your hardest, we grew up like this, we had this, it was bad. Yeah, but you know what? It's not quite the fucking same. What did your father do? What are you doing right now? Oh, you're following the footsteps of your father. Guess what? A lot of these other motherfuckers are following the footsteps of their fathers too. It's just in the other direction. It's just going down the stairs. You know what I mean? Whereas yours is going up the stairs. It's no fucking different. So I just hope that a lot of cats will consider that when they're passing judgment on other people and shit. Let me climb off my soapbox now. You know what I'm saying? That's the end of my fucking nerd adventures right there.
I'm right there with you on the soapbox.
Because I mean, even though my life isn't quite in the situation that yours is in, speaking specifically in career for my career as a Army officer, I came in at a time when all the mentors, like immediate O3s, the captains, were nowhere to be found because they all decided that they didn't want to. Anyone within that range decided that they didn't want to be part of this war because their contract was up or whatever. So all that was left was a bunch of new guys, which were a bunch of lieutenants, and the gap was huge, and the rest were 04s and 05s and above. So in my time in the Army, I could honestly say that I had very little to no mentorship the first 4 years. It was a mess, and I found myself struggling a lot. And it wasn't until I got into a situation where I had immediate mentorships where I started to understand expectations and a bunch of other things. And man, I didn't stress out nearly as bad because I had direction. I had a point of reference, where a template to follow from. And so I'll never forget it. Anytime I saw somebody that a brand new lieutenant, I couldn't wait to tell them, some informative, you know what I mean? I couldn't wait to be a mentor to teach, them not to stress out, not to worry about certain things, and to focus on, prioritize the things that they needed to focus on so that they would have more successful and less stressful careers. And yeah, I would never devalue the value of mentorship, man, or scaffolding and that kind of help,
It makes a difference, bro. Cause I mean,
you
got a whole population of people. You got a whole culture of people, a few different cultures. Let me be fair. That's finding that they're basically each generation is finding its own way. You know what I'm saying? And that's not on accident. That's done by design, in my opinion. That's a whole nother conversation. You know what I mean? But when you got each generation finding its own fucking way, what do you think you're gonna get? You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is strategic. But I don't want to go too much further into that, man. But yeah. So Toys R Us.
Yeah. Speaking of this poor next generation, they'll never know the.
Never know the joy.
Like they'll never know the joy.
I've been looking for like a meme. I want to make a meme, right? I've been looking for a GIF and I haven't been able to find it. But I'm looking for a meme because I saw one. I can't remember where it's in one of our group chats. One of these group chats I'm in. Someone shared it saying, or maybe it's on Facebook somewhere, and it was like, I'll still be it was Jeffrey, and he was like, I'll still be a Toys R Us kid. Or I'm still a Toys R Us kid or some shit. I want a fucking meme where it's like he's saying I'll still be a Toys R Us kid, and then it's like no you won't. No, what I'm saying? Because it's over. It's a wrap. It's done, bro. It's done, man.
It's funny because I've been reading so many crazy things about who's to blame. You know what I mean? And on the street level, people say, oh, it's the scalping community. Those motherfuckers just stole all the good shit and making it so that the casual
in the groups, you mean? Or what groups you mean? Okay.
Right. In all the Facebook groups, a lot of people are saying it's the scalper life messing it up for everybody. They just take all the good stuff, and it doesn't help that the employees are corrupt too and part of the game and trying to, hook their friends up. And
I don't even understand that. That's like those cats are ignorant, man.
Right.
They have no concept for life.
Right. And then the other
concept of business, bro.
Right. Yeah. And then there's from the more what I maybe sophisticated circles that I've seen. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is they're blaming this company called Bain.
Bing, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
They said they're notorious for doing bankruptcy running up people's debt to income ratio so bad that it's almost by design or plan for them for Toys R Us to fail at the rate that those guys are in charge of stuff.
Now, see, I wish we had Tyler and Spiros on.
Yeah, they'd be able to.
Yeah, but go ahead though.
And then the third thing that I saw was that Toys R Us just failed to freaking evolve.
I'm gonna go with that.
And that they also kind of tripped on themselves by outsourcing some of their products to Amazon, which then made it so, well, why do I need to go to Toys R Us?
You never bring the competition in house. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't bring a motherfucker on your block. You go knock off his block. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so let me ask y'all round robin, like, what do you guys? I mean, in your own, there's no right, there's no wrong. I'm just asking your opinion. What do you think has led us or brought us to this point? And before you answer the question, in any way, do you think it's a little bit of karma?
No.
For Toys R Us.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree. I don't think it's karmic.
Complacency.
Not really. Yeah, it's more complacency. They just got lazy, man. Like they underestimated the power of Amazon and, eBay and, you know what I mean? Like, brick and mortar is dying a slow death. Like it really is. You know what I mean? I mean, there will always be space for it, but largely speaking, man, like we finna be 100% digital with everything, damn near. You know what I mean?
So I mean, is it? Well, go ahead. Well, no, let me ask before we go to you. So is it? But then is it Amazon, eBay, or is it just the age, the era that we're in, and the internet?
I think it's a combination
e-commerce.
of lots of things. The biggest, I think for me, the biggest thing is just the economy in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because now you have to decide with how expensive everything is, these days, a house or luxuries and stuff that you just don't, need. And I gotta admit that because there's just this new generation of millennials are seeing this, or they're growing up not, knowing that there's no money for them. They ain't gonna be buying shit because they got to think about where the hell they're going,
where the next meal is coming from,
the next meal and all that other stuff. Yeah, exactly. Income ain't going up, so so luxuries, these things are just, it's just not in their. I think it's just not in their thing, and so they go for, I guess, the more economic entertainment, which would be the digital stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of, and what makes it worse is, people are social.
Wait. You say the more economic. You said the more economic. You think that the digital stuff is more economic? You're referring to like just buying online, or you're talking like games and shit.
These games of free apps, cheap apps, those kind of things, or like people would rather, I guess I could spend my time instead, Skyping. Oh, that's Snapchatting or other things, or some free apps, a 99-cent app, and just play with that all day to entertain themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So is that so much an economic choice, or yet again, is that just where the attention is swayed to? Because, so the whole point of toys back in the day was, imagining. We didn't have the technology that we have today as far as gaming and actually being able to pour yourself into a world and then be consumed by it like that, and really be in it, like in the way that a video game does. Is it more of that?
Well, okay.
Or is it an economic choice? But the game is cheaper than buying some figures. Which one are you saying? I'm asking you. I'm not challenging you. I'm asking you.
It's also the culture too. Like, for example, the reason I bring up economics is, if most parents are working,
mm-hmm.
right, and they always seem so busy, and they're engaged in their own electronic devices. Everyone takes that shortcut and decides, okay, well, frick it, my kid's happy with the app, I'll just go get him an app.
Mm-hmm.
I want, save me the trip of having to go to Toys R Us or or Sora or any of that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, the only reason I think toys are even a thing is because because me and you, our generation grew up as with parents buying us shit in the more conventional way. So.
Exactly.
So see, this is what I wanted to ask, because this is what I want to kind of get into. Like, these kids don't give a fuck about toys. And they don't give a fuck about toys because, I mean, again, of the era we're in, where social media, app, Snapchat, and game on phone type shit, right? And
right.
then depending on the age of the kid ain't really even worried about games on phone as much as they're worried about apps. I mean, and social media shit, right? But if we take it back to like just the cartoon level and toys, or the toy level, which brings me to no cartoons to push the toys. Like, I can't remember who I was having this conversation with. It might have been one of y'all. It could have been somebody else. I don't know. I'm kind of toasted. But we were having this I was having this conversation, and we were talking about toys. You go on the aisle. Maybe we was having this conversation in the chat. I don't fucking know. You go on the aisle. There's no kids on the aisle, right? And the toys that are on the aisle, the toys on the aisle ain't got no, at least in the boys section, ain't really got no good shows to push it or represent it. And then when you go on, you watch TV, the cartoons and the TV shows that are on don't really have good toys for them, or aren't even the type of cartoon that you would want to watch and have a toy for. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing that I see right now is girl cartoons that actually have toys or dolls for their cartoons, and the girls in turn want them, but then I guess they're struggling as well. Like, name a cartoon that's out right now that's doing good, that's got a cool action adventure toy line with it. I can't think of any. It's
not really that way no more. I think it's become more like video game toys now. Video games have become the new because like that Minecraft game, the kids actually buy Minecraft toys and Pokemon toys.
When's the last time you saw? When's the last time? And I'll go with you on the Pokemon. But when was the last time? Because you go to Toys R Us and they got that in the collector section. They got that big ass wall of Minecraft and Pokemon shit. But they got that big ass wall of Minecraft toys and other in the collector side, all the other game related toys, right? But when is the last time that you, and I'm not challenging you, I'm just asking you, when was the last time that you were inside of a Toys R Us and saw a crowd of kids in that Minecraft section buying those things? Even though Minecraft was popping like a motherfucker with kids for a while. But when's the last time you seen them buying them toys or wanting them toys?
Right. It's I would have to say probably a year or two ago. Yeah, too long. Yeah, too
back
long
when
ago,
Minecraft was really popping, right? Like these kids move quick, man. They move quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like the Minecraft shit might still be popping. Like my youngest son, he likes Minecraft role playing shit. That's on just some shit on YouTube. But again, that's YouTube. He wants to watch it on YouTube. He don't want to actually fucking play with a toy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I feel like they fucked us over with that. But then the action adventure, the action figures section isn't floating a whole Toys R Us. So that's not the whole problem. I don't think we can say it's the whole problem.
Yeah. I'm not sure what really floats kids' boats these days. But my guess is the only people that that keep Toys R Us afloat really are poor people. Yeah, because they're the only ones still, I think buying toys really for kids when it's when they can versus them expensive ass gadgets and shit. So.
I remember some years back when I had first got home from my last contract in 2012 or whatever, and I was gonna get like a little part-time gig at Toys R Us so I can be able to get it was almost Christmas time.
Discount.
So I can see all the new shit coming out, all the new MPs, and push my shit to the side until they told me how much they was paying. I was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah. I literally told the chick we was doing a little orientation, and they brought me back to fill some paperwork out or some shit, and she was talking about I can get on the assistant manager program and blah 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 blah, and then she told me how much the position paid, and I was like, you know what? This is back when I was doing pretty good. I was like, you know what? I told her, I said, let's just. I said, there's a couple guys out. There's a couple people out there who I don't think they got picked up. Let's just say this position for them. I don't really need it. I literally told the chick that shit.
Wow. Savage.
I literally
Savage for free.
at the motherfucking
Wild boy.
Mall of Georgia, Buford fucking Toys R Us, and that motherfucking store manager still looks at me with the shit look when I walk in there to this day, bro. She still look at me with the shit look. But I was saying, my point was that during the conversation, during the orientation, she was talking about how she was saying how Toys R Us hasn't really made money off its toy sales, and this is back in like 2012, right? She was saying how Toys R Us hadn't been making money off its toy sales in forever, and that Babies R Us was actually carrying the franchise. You know what I'm saying? And I remember thinking at that time, I think me and Tyler might have talked about this too, some episodes back, but a lot of episodes back. But I remember thinking at that time, I was like, oh man, this motherfucker, Toys R Us gonna go by the wayside pretty soon. But I never thought that would happen because it's fucking Toys R Us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A staple. It's a staple of your childhood.
So
there's so many great memories that I had about Toys R Us.
I was just finna ask y'all about that. Let's get into some Toys R Us memories, yo. Some Toys R Us memories.
I'll start with a banger, man. My biggest Toys R Us memory that I remember was seeing Eternia back in '86 in that store, and I pointed out to my parents, man, that that's where He-Man's and the rest of the Masters of the Universe live. I gotta get that one of these days. And surely enough, my parents, they didn't get it that day, but on Christmas that sucker came out, and I'll never forget it because that was where I saw it. It was the only place that was probably the only store that was big enough to carry that that box back then, because that sucker was huge.
Man,
it was big. It was way bigger than Castle Grayskull. I'll tell you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's the only place I ever saw Fortress Maximus selling either. In Toys R Us.
Really? You mean back in the day, or current?
Back in our childhood days.
I remember. Lionel, was it Lionel Playworld? And then
that was gonna be my not eventually, but my whatchamacallit, my memory. Go ahead.
Dude, it was something about, man, like, okay, so we had KB Toy Store, and then you had Lionel Playworld, and somewhere after that Toys R Us came. So I might be fucking up the whole thing. I don't know. But, man, and I love KB Toy Store, and I want to talk about that a bit too, right? But there was something about, I remember there was it was Lionel Playworld, but it was right before Toys R Us bought them out, right? Or took that shit over, right? And I remember this was for anybody in the Georgia, in Atlanta that listens to the show, you remember, I want to say it was out there in DeKalb, out by South DeKalb, right? And you come off the exit, and the Lionel Playworld was right there to the fucking right. And not too far from that was the motherfucking Yassine's fish joint. Like, this is some straight Atlanta shit. You know what I mean? But,
wow.
anybody remember that shit? So my mom, this is back when Sky Commanders and I was talking to Saul about this shit. Sky Commanders and what's the other fucking toy with the magnets and it was motorized? They were in space and shit. God,
Blades?
What was that shit called? Star Commanders. Star Commanders. What was that shit called? Star Commanders. I think it was called Star Commanders. You guys remember that shit?
I don't remember that.
Hold on, I gotta look it up right quick. I believe it was called Star Commanders. And they had a cartoon and all that shit. It was the illest shit ever, bro. Was it Star Commanders? Yeah, I think it was Star Commanders. I got a fucking message.
1988.
Somewhere around there. I might be wrong on the fucking name. I could have swore it was Star Commanders.
You might be right. I just don't remember it.
Sky Commanders. Starcom. I'm sorry, Starcom. And I ain't even found it. But it was called Starcom. You guys remember that shit? Yeah. Yeah. So Starcom had just started popping off real hard with the figures. And Sky Commanders was killing shit, right? And also,
the Magna Lock,
yeah. And I remember my mom's taking us, me and my brother, to Lionel Playworld, and I got me a couple. We had just got some child support money in. You know what I'm saying? And me and my brother had all these motherfuckers. Because as always, I think on one episode of Toys Detox I talked about we had made plans on buying the whole motherfucking collection of Cops action figures without child support. That never happened, obviously, right? Mom wasn't letting that shit happen. So we had got some child support money in. My mom was taking us to motherfucking toys to the Lionel Play World, and she's gonna let us buy some shit. And me and my brother decided we was gonna go hardcore on the motherfucking Starcom shit. And after that, you know, we went to the Toys R Us, and after that, we would go to Yassine's. Whenever she took us to the Toys R Us, after that, we would go to the Yassine's fish place and buy and get the motherfucking fish and all that shit, right? But dude, it was just something about coming off that fucking exit and Lionel Play World being right there and going inside, you know. And they had like back then they had a couple of aisles of action. You guys remember that shit? They had aisles of action figures. It wasn't just one aisle. You know what I'm saying? Man, I fucking that's one of my most, and I know that wasn't exactly Toys R Us, but you know that's one of my most purest memories of fucking of that whole Toys R Us Lionel Play World type deal, man.
I was my fondest memory was you know, we grew up in the project, so we didn't really have much in terms of space or anything like that. So, you know, large toys were generally few and far in between. So whenever we bought, or whenever my parents, I should say, bought a big toy, like, you know, the original die-cast Voltron from back in the day that was like Matty collector size, like, you know, all that type of shit. Like, you know, it was a big, huge event. So we went to Toys R Us, and I had done something, you know, pretty cool in school. I can't remember what it was. I was always doing some nerdy shit in school. So my dad bought me a Lionel train set, like a whole entire train set. Like, nice. I'm talking like, you know, diorama stuff, like trees and, you know, little men and crossing cars. Yeah, yo, beautiful day in the neighborhood all day, like that type crazy. Shit. So, you know, I'll never forget, like, walking through the aisle. I was young, was really young. I had to be maybe like 9 years old. Walking through the aisles. I'll never forget this. Walking through the aisles and just like looking at like all the different types of, you know, train shit. Like, just like, oh man, I can't believe I get to pick this and this and this, that, and the third. And it just was, you know, it was a very cool feeling to be able to, you know, cop toys and you know, at that young age at a Toys R Us. It's just you know, that's just what I remember the most. I mean, I would say another fond memory is when I bought Nintendo, the Super NES, the SNES. I got nice. That for us. So, you know, that was my first, actually it wasn't my first console, but it was the first Nintendo console that I owned. I got that from Toys R Us, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, you know, sad to see the end of an era, but
the way it is.
That's what happens.
It sucks going out, man. Like, it sucks going out. Like, I don't think I recall seeing, you know. So everybody's talking and we're all sharing our memories. And you remember that feeling you had, right? I don't know. Yeah. Like, can any of y'all recall being in a Toys R Us and seeing the kid act or seem like he felt that way? Like, I mean, it's been some years since I can honestly say I saw a kid that in a Toys R Us with that, you know, carrying on that way that we carried on, experiencing that feeling that we had when we were in Toys R Us as a kid. And I think it's sad that I don't think these kids are ever going to get to experience that, man.
Yeah. Well, I would say I've seen that. I've seen that, you know, fairly recently. I mean, granted, my kids are that age. They're young enough where I would, you know, notice other kids acting all crazy over, you know, Thomas the Tank Engine and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but your point is well made, though. Like, you know, you know, most kids, and your point too. You know, most kids nowadays, they're digital. Like, they're not finna go to the store and look for shit. They, you know, they trying to download stuff from couch. Like, that's what it is. So
yeah,
no, that's gonna.
It's so funny because the way you mentioned it, you know, like how you, when I think about Toys R Us, I think about like all my life kind of situation. It's not just when I was a kid. I mean, this is even as an adult, me going through adventures in my life in places like Toys R Us, like you said earlier, how we all said earlier, in the 80s we saw, you know, to me the golden era of all of that stuff, right, of our childhood, getting toys. But then the teenage years and the college years plus adult years, you know, at the time I had turned 18 and toys kind of fell a little bit in the back burner because college kind of happened. Spawn toys were a thing, and I remember, you know, since I collected comics, you know, that was one of the reasons that I would kind of still be in Toys R Us to check out, you know, the Spawn toys, and when they re-released Star Wars toys after however many years that they weren't doing Star Wars toys, right? And immediately following that, then He-Man, and you know, the time we turned 21, 24, the age, you know, that age group, then He-Man made a comeback with the show, right? And I was there as an adult with the same, you know, trying to recapture my childhood in the aisles, and it was so great to see these old franchises making a comeback, you know, at a time in my life when I actually could collect with, you know, without my parents having to be the dictating party of how I go about my life. And yeah, I mean, and after that, you know, Legos. I'm just like Spiros, man. I mean, except he's giving it to his kids. I play with that shit by myself. I'm always there getting like the newest hot, you know, Star Wars Lego sets, really, you know. And for me, there's nothing more I would say, you know how people find peace putting Gundams together? Well, dude, that's with these big Lego sets, man. Like when Millennium Falcon first came out, or some of these big sets come out, I could spend a good 3-4 hours putting, you know, an expensive set together, and just be so happy that I, you know, able to put that stuff together. And more recently, I'd have to say, when Rogue One came out, man, immediately after the movie, I went straight to that motherfucking Toys R Us, picked up the entire, you know,
the whole set.
Anything that had Rogue One in it, it was mine. I picked
Nice.
that sucker, put that shit together, you know, within the next 3 days, and loved every minute of it, you know. So Toys R Us, you know, disappearing will only limit, you know, the chances of me finding the shit that I like. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, I really hate going to Walmart. It's just
I hate
not
going
the
to
place
Walmart for everything, like groceries. I hate going to Walmart. I don't mind going there for shipping stuff like boxes and tape and shit because it's cheaper. But other than that, I hate fucking going to Walmart.
Right. I mean, I feel like I don't want to be at the mercy of that place ever. But damn it, it looks like that's where
That's where it's gonna be.
You know. So,
that and Target.
But actually,
So
I was gonna say, although hopefully this will allow maybe some smaller niche mom and pop toy outlets to shine a bit, maybe. Although I doubt it, because they too will have to, you know, deal with the juggernaut that is Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So that's
a perfect transition, because that's where I was going. Where do you guys see brick and mortar toy collecting, toy stores, toy sellers, toy retailers going? Like, is there any hope? Are we left at the mercy of Target and Walmart now? Do you think somebody else is going to pop up after you just said you hope maybe that mom and pop spots might come up? Because I know here in Georgia we got a few, but for the most part they're closing down. You know what I mean? So where do you guys see it going now, or what hopes do you have for it now? Piggybacking off of what Afate was just saying,
I would have to say that unfortunately the future of toys is heading the same direction as the way us adults shop for doggone toys, at the mercy of these photos that we see on on the Facebook groups,
Cheem
and we'd be like, oh shit, that looks so
Dame
fucking
Chalk.
good. We need to go. Yeah, exactly. And that's how it's gonna be through word of mouth of the community, and then places like TCP and BBTS, and I mean, I know I hate to name drop stores because we ain't getting endorsed by none of those fools, but it is what it is. And
Well, stop name dropping then, bro. Make them work for it.
I'm just saying that as a point of reference, that's where the future it looks like we're we're all headed, So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any more on that, Av?
No, I mean, you pretty much, nailed it, man. Like, I don't see any, Amazon, Rakuten, Jet.com, eBay, like this is the way of the future now. Like, like these online retailers, these online spaces, that's where it's going. Like, I don't think we can avoid that. There's no real reason for a person to have to be in a store in the physical presence of a toy, right? Like, it's not something that you're going to be trying on, or a food that you're going to be eating or something like that. You know what I mean? It's something that you can look at pictures, and determine whether or not it's something that you want to buy just from the pictures. So, it's not something that necessarily needs that mom and pop brick and mortar experience. Having said that, most of us prefer that because we like to, hold these things in our hands. We like to do the toy hunts,
demonstrations and stuff.
You want that feeling of when you was a kid and you walked in the toy store.
Exactly.
What overhead, man? I don't know.
There you go. There you go. You said it. That was you took the words right out of my mouth, bro. Like that overhead. I mean, it costs these stores money to hold this shit. So,
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you think about it, like if the writing's all on the wall, like every employee has to do more for less, with less, work with less. Like them GameStop guys gotta hustle their products now. They have to work with certain scripts and say, can you pre-order this? Can you pre-order that? And I imagine that's kind of the way of anything that's physical these days. Look, even the printed word is disappearing. Books, all digital. No one's going to be printing magazines and that kind of shit no more. That's.
So then, what are we doing to ourselves? Like, okay, so let's because I feel like Toys R Us. Yeah, that's just it's not even. I wouldn't even call it the tip of the spear, because if you look in your towns, where you once had like thriving like small business economies, and you see all these plazas that are just empty, and all those small businesses are gone now. All those brick and mortar joints are gone because they can't compete with online. I mean, is this just further evidence of what we're doing to ourselves? You know what I'm saying? And then, is it cool, or is it just a way of things? Is it not cool? What do you guys think about that?
That's a tough loaded question, man.
Yeah, bro.
Because on the one hand, I'm old, and I'm a little bit more set in my my ways. So the idea of change becomes harder and harder to accept.
The older you get, the less appealing change feels, right?
Yeah. Agreed. Well, I think that I think it definitely provides an opportunity for, like, let's just looking at toys. I think it definitely provides an opportunity for the small, your little local toy spot. You know what I mean? With the comics and the toys. I ain't talking about them diamond distributed. Yeah. Like I ain't talking about them diamond distributed motherfuckers. Nothing against motherfuckers getting distributed for diamond and shit. But I'm talking about like them cats who are like, we have Billy's toys here. We got Dave's toys and comics here. You know what I'm saying? Those cats who really truly love it, they loved it, and they're sourcing collections, buying people's collections, giving you in-store credit to trade your collection for some shit, and they're putting it on their shelves and shit. It definitely gives an opportunity for them, I think, because I think when you take Toys R Us out the picture, and yeah, you got Walmart and you got Target, but then you consider that you don't really have that TV show element pushing cartoons. You got movies pushing toys now. You know, you don't got cartoons pushing toys. You got movies and live shows pushing toys, and these kids don't want that shit. So that means that and all we want out of Toy Story is Marvel Legends, some wrestling figures, some Star Wars Black, and some motherfucking Hasbro Transformers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and that in itself brings up a point. I come back around to it. But as far as going and finding all those things that we used to want, used to love, and all that shit, that opens an opportunity for them shops. They just got to be able to survive that rent, that overhead, though. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
because they got to lease a spot. Then all then the bills, man, yeah, and everything, and nothing's getting cheaper. Where our incomes aren't getting any higher, really, to match with how expensive everything else is.
Yeah,
going.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
If these some of these empty ass plazas, the people who own these plazas, if they were smart, they might start dropping that rent a little bit, because them bitches, it's so many plazas that's just like empty, man. Shopping centers have been empty for forever, and they just got to sign up like now renting or for sale, and ain't nobody buying that shit. Grass growing, weeds popping up through the concrete and shit.
Exactly.
So one last thing that I want to hit on, that's all I got, except for some closing matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do now for our Hasbro masterpieces? Like, what's going on? Because Toys R Us is going by the wayside. Hasbro going to have to suffer a bit from that. I know they are. So what's going to happen with our Hasbro masterpiece Transformers?
God bless the third party. That's all I gotta say. I'm so glad that we supported that fucking movement.
But you guys don't want and I'm a third party collector. I'm more a third party collector. I am more a third party collector than a Transformer collector. You know what I mean? To be honest, right. But you guys don't have no feeling about the possibility of Hasbro MP. I mean, if there's even a possibility, but if there is a possibility, you guys ain't got no kind of feeling about Hasbro MPs, like, going by the wayside, only being available online or some dumb shit like that.
I'm gonna keep it 100% with you guys, because as somebody who's kind of become more educated in the ways of stakeholders and bottom line. Well, the Hasbro community, those stakeholders can taste this bottom line and fuck them. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. They made it.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? They skipped out on us to try to to help their bottom line. They can eat this bottom line. I went third party to get the kind of product that meets my specifications. You know what I mean? And quality. So
right.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
I
used to be loyal, but fuck them. They shown their colors to us, so I don't feel like I'm obligated or to want to feel any kind of way about them.
Bro, you well within your rights. I ain't questioning you.
Yeah, I agree. I technically, I haven't bought and technically this isn't even really a masterpiece, but the only official line figure that I bought from Toys R Us, actually there are a couple, were Year the Horse Starscream, and that was like the first thing. Well, actually wifey bought that for me. We were in Toys R Us and she like saw it there and bought it. That's what got me started back again, I should say, collecting. But yeah, I would say Year the Horse Starscream and a couple of Titans Return figures are pretty much the only things that I've gone into a physical store and bought. Literally everything else has been online or through Facebook, or cons. Going to a couple cons. I ain't bought shit from Toys R Us for myself in a minute. Like I bought stuff for my kids. And we're a Babies R Us household. Like we got Babies R Us loyalty cards and everything. So but as far as Toys R Us is concerned, like we haven't bought shit from Toys R Us for at least me, for myself as an adult collector, since Trigger Happy came out, Titans Return. I just happened to be walking past the aisle and I saw him and he was on sale. I said, you know what, let me grab this motherfucker. That was it.
Well, there you have it. Toys R Us, I guess, fuck you. Hasbro, motherfucking Takara MPs, fuck you, I guess. Well, I'm pretty sure we're still gonna get them. We're still gonna get them, but just not.
Yeah, we're still gonna get them. I mean, it's a sad thing in the sense that, again, I think we all kind of share the sentiment. It's the end of an era, right? But at the same time, man, like, oh well,
Agreed. I mean, of course, I'll pick up anything, as long as they still manage to match the quality of what an MP should be, traditionally.
Right.
Then I'm more than happy to support. But if they disappear, I'm just glad that we got options. That's all. Just like what's the name said, the Dream said, part of me feels so bad, but not that bad.
Not that bad.
So just before we get off the Toys R Us shit, let me get I guess we did best Toys R Us memory. Can I get if you got one, worst Toys R Us memory? However it relates to Toys R Us.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really have any bad Toys R Us memories. When I think about it, I ain't got none.
I had a bad Gemco memory, like a toy aisle memory.
I'll get that. I'll take that.
Okay, so I was back in the day. Remember when
I'm just saying something that makes you want to shit on Toys R Us. How about that?
Oh.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, bro.
Okay, well, if that's the question that you're asking, then yes. When I learned, when I saw how the employees were basically doing the secondary market stuff, pretty much.
What's that now?
They were holding stuff for their boys to get shit.
Oh, you hating you, because if it was holding for you, you'd have been all in. It was holding for you.
When the employees are, I'm like, come on now, don't be greedy.
No, you hate you. That's haterism. That's hater.
I mean, but it's not. But really, it ain't fair. I mean, because like I can understand if somebody beat me to the punch physically, but not rig the entire game. You know what I mean?
That's the game,
the whole game.
Life is not fair, bro. Life is not fair. Life is waiting to punch you in your chest. Well,
it's funny because that's exactly what kind of led me to places like Amazon and online shopping in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I got tired of not getting the shit that I was looking for, because the scalpers,
I'll say that was a problem for Toys R Us as well as a few other places, and maybe that was just a distribution. But there was a time frame where you couldn't find shit, and I don't know if it was. I don't think it was as much scalping because I don't really believe in scalping shit. But I think it was more of the motherfucking distributors wasn't sending shit, or maybe the stores wasn't ordering shit because they had shit sitting on the. I don't know what the fuck it is. You know what I mean? But
shelf.
Yeah, but there was time. It was a time frame, especially like Marvel Legends, like it was like 2013, 2014, maybe 2014, something like that. Whereas you couldn't get shit, you couldn't find shit in the store. Like what the fuck are y'all gonna put a figure on the fucking shelf? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think they kind of did it to themselves a little bit on that one.
Absolutely. Like whenever I go to Toys R Us and find what I'm looking for, I felt like I won the lotto.
Yeah. Cause those motherfuckers ain't never got shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Av, you said you good though? None?
Yeah, I
Damn,
I honestly can't recall any bad experiences in Toys R Us.
I got a bad one, but it's not like I can't. It's not really Toys R Us's fault. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened that Toys R Us is a part of memory. I say that memory for I'll say that for a different show. I guess I'll say a quick one is, just all the times going to Toys R Us and you couldn't find a fucking figure. No. Here you go. Because the other one's definitely a longer story. I'll say that time frame where Toys R Us was charging more for their Marvel Legends than everybody else, but then they had all the Legends you wanted. You know what I'm saying? I would say it's one of my fucking fuck you Toys R Us memories right there. Because it was stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why the fuck y'all charging, like, what was it? I think Marvel Legends was like $15 in other places or some shit like that. And Toys R Us had them for like 22 or something, like some dumb shit.
Yeesh.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, rest in peace, Toys R Us. We knew you well. You know what I'm saying?
We knew you well.
We knew you well, bro. Time is done. Fucking KB Toy Store came and went. Lionel Playworld came and went.
Is it me? Did you guys not see the Facebook posts out there that KB's making a comeback?
I would love for them to.
I saw something about that. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or we're just being trolled or whatever, but that's what people are posting out there that KB's making a comeback.
I believe it when I see the store in the goddamn store
again.
Cause they got to live to the KB Toy Store standard, bro. They got to have like aisles of action figures, and they got to be like those short aisles, but they're short and tall as fuck. And you can't reach like the top aisle with all the figures on it and shit. I mean the top pegs, because it was so fucking like remember they would have the He-Man figures on the aisle, and that shit went all the way up to the sky. You know what I'm saying? With all the vehicles on the top shelf and shit, you couldn't reach none of them.
Couldn't even reach them.
Yeah, they gotta live up to that standard. If they ain't got that, and then if they don't got that little basket of all them little fucking motorized little things just hopping around when you first walk into the store and shit by the register. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't got that shit, fuck them. They not really KB, bro. You ain't really KB if you ain't got that shit, man.
I remember that. That's funny.
Dude, I remember being in high school and like fucking high school you talking to chicks and shit, and like you be in the mall and not high school, like middle school, some shit like that. And I would dip into the KB toy store. And then, like, on a Friday, but then, like, that's when all the kids is coming into the mall and shit Friday nights because you ain't got nowhere to hang out at and shit. And I got to kind of play it cool to get out so none of the chicks I knew from school saw me. You know what I'm saying? Because way past that age, we playing with toys and shit. Yeah, man. I love it. Yo. Okay, so, I think we can go ahead and wrap this one up. I do want to bring up two things going out. But you guys got anything else you guys wanted to cover or anything?
Nothing at the top of the dome.
Nah, not really.
Okay, so I kind of feel like, I don't know, I'm hoping this ain't the case, but I feel like some things is I feel like a mix, a switch up or a change up coming with Detox. I can just feel it. I can feel it in the wind. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping everything is stays on track, but I've been having some thoughts here lately about wanting to do a detox event. You know what I'm saying? Like a show us your toys type of event. I got like these different views, like views of it, right? Like one idea is like a destination event, you know what I'm saying? Where
nice,
where everybody travels to. I got a couple different ideas, and we can fuck around. I just want to see what the listeners would feel about it, and how many people want to be down to do it, right? But and then another part of me is like another part of my thinking on it is not just it's a detox event, a detox hosted event, but it's really for the entire network, like for all of our homies in the network and all that shit, for us all coming together, as well as all our listeners and subscribers and followers and all that kind of shit. I mean, my first thoughts was like a kind of like a mini con, but I don't really want to do a con because we can do a con anywhere. And then another thought was I don't know, getting a hall, or maybe like a couple of suites or some shit, and everybody can just come to the suites for a weekend, and we can just all fuck off and bring toys and show toys and just kick it. You know what I'm saying? But then,
yeah, that would be cool. I'd be down for that.
My last thought on it was, again, making the destination thing where it would have to be in the state where, for this last idea to work, it would have to be held in the state. And it wouldn't have to be the same state every year, but or however often we do it. But held in a state where there's obviously a whole bunch of toy hunting to be done, and like say we let's just say we get like a couple of suites or whatever, and then everybody turn out for it, right? And then but then we have like I don't know how we could work logistics out, but it would kind of be like you guys ever did like a scavenger hunt?
Yeah, almost like I was just getting ready to say.
So but instead of it being like a scavenger hunt per se, it would be a thing. The thing would be that we would all, because most conventions, most gatherings, we all come together and we're in that location. This would be more of a thing of there would be events that we would do during the day, whereas we get out as a big ass group, a big ass convoy, and we just go on a fucking hunt spree throughout the city or whatever city we're in. You know what I'm saying? And then when we come back, and we can involve like stopping in restaurants and fucking eating, maybe bars that night. Just get motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? Because I want cats. I want it to be whereas it's not just nerding it up in some motherfucking sleeping bags and funking up a room. You know what I mean? Because I think that a lot of us in this hobby, not all of us, but a good bit of us in this hobby kind of hide from life a little bit. So I would want to be a thing where we can kind of get people out, get them out their shell. You know what I mean? Starting with like a toy hunt thing early in the day, and then have some events that night where we go out and have some fun, but no pressure like you go to the club and be a pimp or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Nothing like that. And it all comes back to and it's all based from whatever rooms we got, or suite we got, or whatever. I don't know, something like that. So, whatever ideas we come up with, whatever ideas you guys listening want to shoot at us, but what we don't want it to be is the same old convention type deal, or you know what I'm saying, or motherfucking, because we got a lot of good events already within our crew right now. Bobby got Skullfest, motherfucking ROC. You might as well say they got motherfucking NJCC. You know what I'm saying? So we got a few different versions of gatherings. So this will be a different version. We don't want more of the same because they got those things locked down, and the network is giving you guys that in that way already. You know what I'm saying? So this would be more for us to get out and about, go see a city, whatever the city is, and run that fucking city. You know what I'm saying? And just have a fucking blast. And then at the end of the night, come back and compare notes. At the end of the day, come back and compare notes. But get out and enjoy the fucking city. You know what I mean? Toy hunting on the road, getting to know each other, having some fun, road tripping and shit across the city, and just having a fucking blast. That's the idea I got. I had an idea about a motherfucking what do you call that shit? About a motherfucking get on the boat. You know what I'm saying? But that might not work.
Cruise.
Yeah, cruise, like a nerd cruise or some shit like that. But
that's a good idea.
Yeah. That's a good idea, but I don't know that's gonna
cost.
Yeah.
Overhead.
So let's just start it off with, of course, within the detox, we'll come up with some ideas. Network fellas, if you guys listening, you guys got some ideas, shoot some ideas, and obviously listeners, just kind of weigh in on what you guys would think about any of the ideas we just talked about, and we'll see where we can take it at and get it done. But I do I don't know, somewhere in 2018, man, I would like for us to put together a nice little detox show us your toys type event. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would be dope.
Yeah, and carry it on from there, man. That'd be real fucking cool. But other than that, that's all I got, man. You guys said you got anything else before we get out of here, before we do the closing and shit?
I'm trying to think. Was there something else I wanted to say? I think that was it for me. Yeah. Did I say fuck you to that Thomas dude?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I sure did.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's good that was that we're not the only podcast that got internet beef with people.
We just do it
the
better.
TKO crew every week they calling somebody out, so I gotta give them props for calling other people out too.
The TKO crew is always getting the short end of the stick because of these goddamn elitists who try to tell people how to spend their fucking money.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm sorry, I was watching this damn. They got that damn porn star chick on the motherfucking TV again. I was caught up in the tits.
Stormy Daniels.
Not Stormy. It's the other one.
What's that?
It's
Honey?
the other one.
No.
Yeah, the other one. When they talking about who's the playmate now, she coming out. Yo, she's smashable. She need to be in the fucking joint. Yo, yeah. You guys go out and check out some of that honey gold. Get you some honey gold in your life. You need that.
Yeah, man.
Everybody get some honey gold in your life, bro.
Christ.
Yeah, she look like she Filipino.
I don't know what
she does. She looks like she reminds me of my wife when we first met. Me and my wife. My wife used to look just like that. Short hair, chinky eyes, caramel skin.
She fired enough to make a motherfucker get a bowl of popcorn and sit back and just watch her perform, bro. Like she fired, dog. But yo, let me let's close this thing out, man, and get the hell out of here. So that's the episode. Big ups and shout out to the rest of the Toy Detox Savages who couldn't be here tonight, who are rarely here. You know what I'm saying? But still represent either way. Shout out to everybody who's tuned in and still listening and representing us and supporting us. We really appreciate that shit. Shout out to the entire Cool Table Network. I am not running down that list. I'll leave that for Spiros when he comes back on. You know what I'm saying?
Spiros is the man.
Yeah,
shout out
let
to
him run
Spiros.
that shit. I'm not running that shit. But all the Cool Table Network shows you guys all know who you guys are. And everybody should know. And if you don't know, even better reason for you to go over to the Cool Table Network page and check out the different shows. We got a lot of good, got a lot of different shows, a good variety of things for you guys to get into.
The best one of which is Toy Detox, obviously.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
TD.
No doubt. Shout out to Minister Ryan and the motherfucking Black Delegates podcast. They're not Cool Table, but they're Cool Table affiliates. How about that? They're friends of the family, so go check them out. Those guys, that show is awesome. It's not necessarily a collective show, but it's a goddamn great and enjoyable show. So go check it out, man.
It very much so is.
And I think that's about it. That next episode of the Nerd Life on Fire podcast, I will be getting it out at some point when I can put audio up on the page. I will take.
Oh yeah, I gotta give you an account. Yeah, I gotta get you set up.
But
thank you for reminding me.
No doubt. But big ups to everybody.
I'm gonna be working from home tomorrow, so yeah.
Cool.
All this damn snow that we finna have. So
yeah, y'all make sure y'all hold y'all shovels tight. But other than that, man, that's the end of the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being on, and thank the world for being the world. That's it.
Peace.